Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we're actually starting out tonight's stream with some serious positive energy. Okay. Now, I'm not only saying that because I'm literally drinking a Bob Ross positive energy drink, but we started out with Daddy Daughter Podcast already gifting one channel membership, and then Mike McClune coming in and gifting 10 channel members. Holy moly, you guys, thank you so much. Mike McClune, you're the man. Daddy Daughter Podcast, you, sir, rock as well. And we got a hell of a guest this evening. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get it started. So, first, I want to say what's up to all the channel members out there. Thank you all for coming in, tuning in, hanging out. I really appreciate it. It's going to be a great stream this evening. Now, of course, dang old Matt was first. Dang old Matt, bro, you've been knocking out of the park, man. He's been in here first, like clockwork. I push that button and boom, he's in here. So, you, sir, deserve at least one high five. So, congratulations. I appreciate it. Dang old Matt, who is also a channel member, of course. Of course, we got my man Joe Morris. What's up, brother? Another channel member. 717 Rider. What's up, my guy? Good to see you. Another channel member. Johnny Bar, Johnny 3 Bar. I guess some people call you. I just always call you Johnny Bar, Johnny Bar, Johnny Bar. Another channel member. Let's see who else we got. My guy Kurt 24. What's up, brother? Another channel member. I actually have people hitting me up on like Instagram and shit, and they're like, "Hey, Dark, how do I become a channel member?" And they actually like word it like that, and it's hilarious. I just always want to take the first few minutes to greet you guys individually and show you some love, like as you come in. Like, I love that. Appreciate y'all so much. So who else we got? We got Johnny Ba, Kurt 25, T for Tejas. What's up, my guy? Good to see you. Another channel member, of course. Johnny Ba, Kurt 24, dang old Matt. Let's see. Hey, Toy Town, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Another channel member. Let's see. Johnny Bar, Kurt 24. Too many choices. What's up, brother? Great to see you. Another channel member. And dang, CNT Designs and Arms just gifted another 5 channel memberships. And then dang, 717 Rider gifted 5 channel memberships as well. Holy cow, you guys. Thank you so much. And I see Kurt sending the message because he's trying to keep me abreast because YouTube and StreamYard don't talk to each other there. So yeah, appreciate it. Looks like Dominic Taylor, Pickled Otaku, G23 Reviews. Oh no, that's a chat, my bad. Josh Lowry, Mike Lowry, Sandwich Chef, the chef of sandwiches, was also gifted a channel membership. And who else we got? G23, no, it's a chat. Cantiwa, Ricardo Lee, a bunch of people. My bad, I can't go through all of them. But guys, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Y'all are awesome. Thank you. So let's go through and say what's up to the rest of the channel members. We got Kurt 24, Toytown Inc., AS Armitage. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Johnny Propane and Propane Accessories. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. I appreciate you. Let's see, 717, Johnny Bob. There he is, Daddy Daughter Podcast. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Thank you. And thank you again for the channel memberships that you're sharing with others. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's see. So Johnny Propane, Johnny Ba. Man, a lot of y'all's names are actually kind of similar. This is challenging. Testing, 1, 2, 3. What's up, brother? Thank you for hanging out. And thank you for being a channel member. T for Tejas, Jenny Bar, Armitage, 717. Oh, they do show this now, though. StreamYard does now show this. But of course, they fail on the emojis because, they're words. But anyway, Man Against the Masses, also a channel member and also our resident meme artist. So let me know, Man Against the Masses, what meme are you going to concoct this evening? Hopefully something dope. Senior Craig, another channel member. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us, my brother. Appreciate you. Let's see who else we got in here. Hey, M. Gabriel. What's up, my guy? Good to see you. Of course, Mike McClune as well. Both channel members. Great to see you. So once, formerly known as Snoring Rich, is now, at a perfect time, Ruby Rich. I'm just saying, right? Ruby Rich. Go ahead and look up. I saw somebody send a meme, and it was like, did you know that you can go on scavenger hunts for for precious stones in national parks? Google Ruby Ridge to learn more. I was like, yo, that is hilarious. Boom Thumb McBanghand, great to see you, bro. Another channel member. G23 Reviews, what's poppin'? Another channel member. Fire Rodder, what's up, my guy? Another channel member. Taco Syndicate, what's up, brother? Another channel member, of course. Zanti Misfits, what up? Dang, so many of y'all in here. This is crazy. Because you guys give channel memberships so much, everybody is a member. It's all green names down the whole shite. I'll have to start rolling credits or something. This is a lot. This is a lot. Taco Syndicate, Nate D, Fire Rider, all channel members. Let's see who else we got. Dang, Tex Bullington, what's up, brother? Good to see you. I ain't seen you in a minute. Oh, my chat just refreshed. A Dubs, what's up, brother? Another channel member. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Barton Fink, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Ruby Rich. Tech Money, what's up, fam? Another channel member. Great to see you. Let's see. Nate D. Is Nate D? Okay, Nate D is a channel member. Channel member. I think he got one of the ones that was shared. Heck yeah, that's what's up. G23 Reviews. Wired Tight. What's up, my guy? Good to see you. Another channel member, of course. Tech Money. Oh, and we all got to say salute to Tech Money because that's his thing. Every time he, ow, I just hit my knuckles. Every time he jumps in, he's like, salute, DLD, salute, M. Gabriel, salute, you know? So give him a little O7. By the way, I don't know if y'all know that. It took me like a solid year to find out that when someone says DLD 07, that means salute because it looks like a little guy saluting, right? I know. I hate you guys with all the new hip stuff. I know. Tech Money, Armitage, and AD, Fire Rider, G23, Man Against the Masses, C&T Designs and Arms. What's up, brother? Another channel member who's also gifting channel member ships. So thank you. Johnny Barr, Tech Money. Let's see. C&T Designs and Arms member for 18 months. Remember, perps, the government wants you dead. Welcome to the Glow Store. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, you're the man, C&T. And if you guys don't know, Coop also has a channel, C&T Designs and Arms, and he's the man. He does a bunch of crazy stuff like plasma cuts and all. I had mine hanging up, but they tried to kill me a couple times. That's another story for another day. Tech Money 717 C&T, Mike McClune, BB Luminous. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Another spicy meatball out in the community. Also a channel member. And let's see, Mike McClune, Martin Kaminsky. What's up, brother? Another channel member. Make sure I don't miss anybody here. Tech Money, Daddy Daughter Podcast, Nate D, C&T, Armitage 717, A Dubs. Let's see, Rusty. Hey, Rusty Shackelford. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Another channel member. Here's his chat. I saw it on my I got my chat on my phone here so I don't miss stuff. And Kurt24 is also dropping the links. So you guys are going to see for our very special guest this evening that Kurt will be dropping the links for Risky Chrisky's Instagram and also his YouTube channel as well. I saw somebody mention, who's Risky Chrisky? It is somebody that you absolutely need to go subscribe to. He does excellent content and, in my opinion, very valuable stuff, especially for the lives that we're leading right now, right? With nuclear mosquitoes and vaccine lettuce, it's time, you know, we need to band together. All right, Man Against the Masses. John Doe, what's up, fam? Good to see you. Another channel member. Barton Fink, G23, C&T. All right, I think hey, Murphy's Law, what's up, guy? Great to see you. Let's see. Benchies Go Boom. What up? Both y'all channel members. And 717 CNT Benchies Go Boom. All right. Now, all the honorable mentions, all y'all, I'll just say what's up to y'all in chat as you come in. So, if you've not heard of the man himself, Risky Chrisky, also, I mean, the guy's like the modern Minuteman. I actually put it in the title, The Modern Minuteman. He just always hits you with really good, really important shit when he's dropping videos, and they're super valuable, especially for the time that we're living in now. So catch him on Instagram, subscribe to his YouTube channel because he's always going to have dope shit. So without further ado, I bring to you the unmasked Risky Chrisky. What's up, brother?
Oh, hello. How are you doing?
Well, hello there. You know what? I think I'll join you, but
Oh, yes.
this is just some Topo Chico.
Oh, the taupe. That's what I'm getting next.
Dude, the Topo, that's the way to go.
Little topo and lime.
So, hey, Timbo Slice, good to see you, bro. So there's interestingly enough, I had seen some. I didn't know if they were messing around or serious, but there may be a few people in here that don't know who you are. So for those that may not, let everyone know who you are, what you do, and where they can find you.
What's up? My name's Risky Chrisky. Just search YouTube for Risky Chrisky with Y's. I know it's kind of odd. Either way, I'm on Instagram too. I've been kicked off a bunch, so good luck finding me there. Who is Risky Chrisky with the underscores? I make videos on Minuteman, modern, like militia type activities. Try to keep
Yeah.
you informed on current events and maybe give a little laughs in between.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Some solid laughs. And dude, the daily reports are fire. I don't think I've ever missed a daily report. You take like the current events of what's going on and you add this level of humor and the other stuff like it's Monday and I could burn down the building, like Taco Tuesday. It's great stuff, man. I get a lot of good positive energy. Now I
Hey,
don't
man,
mean like, like Bob Ross positive, but I mean it's good positive energy. I have no idea how I got this, by the way.
that's a cool looking can.
Right? I mean, it's Bob Ross. Happy mistakes, positive energy. Like he's the guy, right? I mean, for painting. Who's the Bob Ross of guns, though?
Of guns?
Probably
Hmm.
print shoot repeat. He's definitely Matthew said wish him luck. So we're probably going to touch on CRS tonight. He has his sentencing coming up next week. And guys, also now that Erica, aka Sugar Tits, is in the chat, if you don't know, Hunter 2024 patches are now available. It literally says strippers and cocaine on the
Yeah,
patches.
yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And the patches are for sale at onlytacticalfans.com, and they go directly to support CRS Firearms and his channel and his family, his wife and kids. So while they prep for the sentencing on the 6th, yeah, on the 6th, show them some love and go buy a couple patches. And I'm DLD After Dark, and I approve this message. Sorry, Eric, I owed you that like a week ago, but um, yeah, my apologies. Didn't mean to cut you off. Just wanted to share that there.
No, you're good. I can't figure out who the Bob Ross of guns would be. I was initially gonna say like Demolition Ranch or something. Just somebody who's putting together random guns,
Yeah.
making it work successful, but works
Yeah.
of art? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's tough, man. Especially like just with his like when he does stuff, it's just like easy. Like it looks effortless, right? Like, man, I think that'd be tough to
What's the
select.
guy who runs Rifle Dynamics? The
Oh
AK
man.
guy? You know
I
what
don't
I'm talking
remember.
about?
I don't remember. Somebody out there will know. If you know,
Maybe Brandon Herrera, speaking of the AK guy, because he has the AK-50, right?
he could be. Yeah. Although he certainly didn't make the AK-50 look simple cuz man,
No,
that's just been we've been waiting years for that thing. But hey, I mean, what masterpiece doesn't take a long time, you know?
that's right.
Yeah. So, last time we spoke, we kind of talked a little bit about, how you kind of got into this and the time frame and whatnot, and since then, kind of where's the focus of your channel? Obviously, Minuteman related stuff. Are you mostly talking about gear, current events? Like, what kind of give everyone like an idea?
So, one of the things I've been looking to transition to as far as like the main focus of the channel, and I've been wanting to do this for a while, um, is more towards current events. Because, I mean, if I'm looking at longevity of the channel, it would be different, if I was some 20 or 30-year Navy SEAL with, a
Yeah.
career's worth of experience, and I could just keep providing tactical know-how. But realistically, I might go back and touch on some key topics or give updates on gear as I, acquire different things. But
Hmm.
generally speaking, um, there's only so much to pass along for the average Minuteman, right?
Yeah.
Tactics, gear, mindset, weapons, that sort of thing. And once people have seen that, it's like, yeah, I can stay relevant. But I really want to get across the current propaganda. I want people to see
Hmm.
it for what it is. So bringing that in a bit of a humorous way, bringing something different. That's where my focus is. So I've been doing the risky reports, which are like daily shorts,
Yeah.
and just giving a 60-second overview of like what's happened in the last 24 hours that I'm interested in knowing. So
Hmm.
I figured if I'm looking at it, or I want to know this, maybe somebody else does too.
Yeah.
And if I c you know, I'm in the process of trying to get a new place to record as well. So I was looking at a commercial property and that fell through. But I wanted to have like this place we could have put an antenna on top. We could have gone old school, had like a
Dang.
legit call studio, and I wanted to be able to like throw out AM radio and have a live call in like once a week, late night, like Alex Jones, Art Bell style, and do
Dang.
like a wrap up show. And so that's still what I want to do to some degree.
That would be
Um,
fire.
yeah, we'd have to have a little bit of a delay because people probably get nuts calling in, but I think it'd be really fun. And yeah, just bring something else to that space that people aren't really doing these days.
It is dope, and it's definitely like, I don't know, like people being able to call in and kind of voice their opinion and, have conversations around that. It's actually why well, one, why I've gotten a couple strikes, but also, um, I used to just put the link out there and people could just jump in whenever, but I stopped doing that because it's just uncontrollable. So, you doing something like that, having a delay and, not obviously not silencing anyone, but, you know, keeping certain things.
I mean, if we have the callers behind a paywall, or unless something better comes along, right? Like I haven't war gamed the whole thing, but
Mhm.
in brainstorming, how can we mitigate problems? Like, yeah, you have to be a channel member or something like that, or reach a certain threshold of a membership in order to be able to have access to the live call in.
Yeah. Alex Jones is a prophet. Bro, he's called so much stuff like spot on, man. Spot on. I mean, look at the frogs, you know?
Oops.
Yeah,
Man, you're right
he's
about
been
the frogs, dude.
so right, man. And if by frogs, he meant all of the teachers becoming extremists and teaching our children at a very young age how to, mangle their bodies over gender dysphoria. Maybe that's what he meant, but he was right, 100%. You know.
I saw this video and I shared it, and yeah, I think it was out of Florida. I might be wrong, but it was this teacher, or excuse me, it was this woman talking about. She was on like a news program. She was a guest, and she was like, you cannot be letting your kids drink bottled water. You gotta let them drink tap water because they're getting all these cavities from not having the fluoride, and they need the
Mm,
fluoride. It's good for them. It's on the news, dude. It's telling
interesting.
us you need more fluoride. It's
It's
safe for you.
funny. Do you know what fluoride is?
In what way? Like, what do you mean?
So, from what I understand, and just the remedial research that I've done on this stuff and conversations I've had with other people, from what I understand, fluoride is aluminum runoff that basically occurs from the manufacturing process of aluminum and the cutting of aluminum. And for the longest time, the United States was paying millions, literal millions of dollars to ship it over on boats to China to pay to dispose of it, and they had to find a way to save the money they're paying for disposal to find a more economic way to dispose of it. So the government said, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Right. And they said, you know what, it could protect against cavities. So here's what we're going to do for you. And look, anytime the government has said anything that here's something, it generally costs money, but we're going to provide it to you at no cost. It has never been good, ever. There's never been any positive. So that's one of the, propaganda pieces, right? It's like, this is good for you, your children, and your teeth, not to mention it's horrible for you and it turns you into a slow, passive, non-aggressive, degenerate. Yeah,
It's
it's
not
just crazy.
ideal for your pineal gland, is what I hear.
Yes, yes, your third eye will truly be calcified.
Oh, third eye blind every time you had that fluoride. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Let's see. Let's see if anyone mentioned that. Because if anyone knows more about that topic, I would love to learn more. Not like fluoride is in toothpaste. Yeah, well, you're not guzzling toothpaste water. I mean, I hope you're not drinking Crown. Yeah, yeah, Crown's probably got no fluoride in it. But yeah, I mean, it's not the only thing, right? Like, there's all of these. Turn this up a little bit here. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. there's so many chemicals that are just dumped into, you know, whatever, whether it's our water, and now, bro, with the mosquitoes, I know I jokingly said like nuclear mosquitoes and whatever, but there were actually what 200,000 mosquitoes that were set free. They were mutated mosquitoes of some
I think it
sort.
was like 200 million.
200 million?
I mean, I mean, it doesn't matter. They're
Yeah,
mosquitoes. It's a
is a
lot. I
lot.
think it was a lot. I think it was millions. I
Dang,
could be
that's
wrong.
crazy.
Don't quote me.
So whatever they are, they were just let loose in Florida, and we have no idea what they're doing, spreading, or I think they're monitoring them somehow. I think what they want to do is see if whenever they, make little mosquito babies, if they mutate and they're the same, you
I
know.
definitely wouldn't Google Bill Gates and his involvement in mosquitoes in Brazil. That probably wouldn't be what I would immediately go Google if I was watching this.
That would be a bad idea,
Yeah,
especially if it was something like, you know, finding new exciting ways to to vaccinate people that are unwilling to get or unable
yeah.
to get malaria vaccines.
Through your lettuce and through, drizzling from the sky. Yeah, all sorts
Yeah,
of stuff.
yeah, crazy, crazy. Yeah, I'm blown away. Just looking at where we are, I'm just blown away that, they're operating just with impunity right in the public, and it's like,
Well,
I don't
ever
know.
since Obama, right? He made it legal for propaganda to be pushed. And so since then, they haven't had to worry because they knew that that the media complex would push whatever that they tell them. That's why The Simpsons is right. It's not because they can see the future, it's because the CIA is like, "Hey, put this in here.
Dang.
Get them exposed to this so that they'll accept it later on." That's my best guess. I don't have physical proof of that, but I've heard that floated around, that's what I'm gonna go with.
Simpsons has always been correct. Simpsons and Alex Jones, I mean, they know what's up. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
look,
people will say Alex Jones is like, controlled opposition. Even if he is, he's right about enough, and he puts out enough video, um, that it's worth, in my opinion, it's worth listening to. A lot of it's
yeah.
fantastical, but that's half the fun, right? Seeing him take off his shirt and start yelling and screaming, it's excellent. It's what I
Uh,
need.
bro, honestly, like at this point, there's a lot of people that are, likely controlled opposition. It's tough, like you said, it's tough to know for sure, right?
Mhm.
But like, when I found out there there were people out there. Hold up, Mike, did you give another 10 channel members? Did I just miss that shit? Hey, Frag out, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Did I totally miss this shit? Mike McLuhan, if I totally missed that, I'm sorry, bro. I'm trying to stay focused. If I missed you, I apologize. Fluffy Bunny Arsenal Z, what's up? Yeah, Mike, let me know if I missed that. Everyone else has just entered. Great to see you. Um, it's interesting because there's been some instances where like um, Alex Jones, Steven Crowder, and even oh, what the fuck was it? Um, the dudes that Jesus Christ, the dude that ran whatchamacallit, that would go undercover, catch all these people, like the people at NBC. I'm
Veritas,
totally
James O'Keefe,
yeah, Project Veritas. Sorry about that. There's been
recently
people,
disgraced Project Veritas.
yes, very recently disgraced. And you can go look at all their Form 990s and look at who they gave money to and got money from and all this shit. And you won't find anyone that, isn't getting money from somebody that they could appear to be compromised. Right. So
Yep.
that doesn't mean that some of the information that they're dishing out couldn't be valuable to you. Right. Like, you just kind of got to be objective in the way that you're taking in information. Like you're saying, there's still going to be good nuggets in there.
What I found is helpful is just catching or throwing out a wide net. So I look at stuff that it kind of makes me annoyed watching it, but I'm like, what are they saying? What's the view say? What are these idiots saying today? Right? Because exactly what they're saying, I'm gonna assume the opposite is true. So that's like a huge,
Mhm.
like that's a low-hanging fruit. You want to call it anything, right? Watching The View, checking out CNN, but Telegram. I'm on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, because the time frame of news, it's just so fast-paced. People are
Yeah.
posting by the second updates, and then sharing that, getting that across to people, and just looking at patterns, right? Like it's statistics, like. Uh, I don't have to sit here and have an objective view on every single story, but when I see a huge pile of stories about a certain topic, right, whether it's the coof or it's,
Mhm.
the clot shot or it's, the border wall or child sex trafficking, whatever it is, when the stacks of coincidences get so high, it's like I can't not see the elephant in the room. I
Yeah.
don't know the details, but there's fuckery afoot with that, right? So, like with Maui, right?
Mhm.
There's so many like every day it seems like more questions come out that makes it look like the conspiracies that and I'm a conspiracy theorist. The ones that I
Yeah.
brushed off as not true initially, like
Yeah.
sarcastically was joking around with, those look more and more correct every day that goes by when they don't tell us the truth.
Absolutely. It's like right in our faces, and that's kind of one of the things that, like I mentioned, that like, man, before you would kind of have to, silently like take these bits and pieces of information, and like the guy in the room with the thumbtacks with the red yarn tying everyone, like you were that guy, like not letting anyone see that. Now it's like, dude,
From
it's
It's Always Sunny in
impossible.
Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
You're good.
and it's like, bro, how can I not see this? You guys are totally operating out in the open. You are showing everyone who you are. So for all these other people of opposing views, when they stand up and they say, "I'm on this side," I'm like, "Bro, really? Like more people have died from the shot than the virus. Like, are you sure you're with it?" So it's, they're taking dangerous stands and they're doing it right in front of us. And they're operating with, complete and utter impunity, and they likely will for a long time, but it just it seems like it's getting more and more dangerous, and I kind of feel like we're on the verge of something kinetic that likely will be started by them, because I think, and you and I have spoken about this before, it's like nobody that I'll say, I don't want to say like our side, like right and left. I don't really subscribe to that, and I don't think you love that concept either, but I feel like they keep trying to provoke something, and we don't have a desire to take things to that level, even though, we could very easily. So I think they're going to continue to provoke harder and harder and harder and harder, and not just like steal elections, like take elections, remove elections, or do crazier shit where they're, way more openly going after your kids. And it's just, it can't get much worse before people start to, fight back. Man, that sounds really bad saying that out loud.
It does then.
Yeah, that's kinda
And that's the
scary.
thing, but you're not telling people to we don't
No,
it's not
no.
that I'm unwilling to fight back when I'm pushed beyond my means, right? No one is exempt from that, right? You can only push anyone on earth so far before they fight back. So they want that response. It's clear. There is a two-tier justice system. It's if you're on the side of the orange man or on the side of questioning the narrative. Okay, these don't have to be mutually exclusive. So I'm not saying you got to be a MAGA, you
Mhm.
know, Trump guy. But like, if you are, that's in the category. You like your guns, you're in that category. You don't want to wear a mask, you're in that category,
Yeah,
right? If all these things, like you said, left versus right. The more we, the more we get into this, the more the left versus right thing is irrelevant because it's
yeah,
clearly a uniparty. And yes, you have like libtards and you have people that are rhinos, like the far extremes there, but
yeah.
there's the same thing
It's the
at the
elites
end of the day.
versus us.
Yes. And how do they win? They win by not being held accountable for the things that they've done.
Yep,
Because if they're not held accountable, then they're gonna have carte blanche to keep
carte blanche.
going and make this a full on dictatorship because they don't want to have they can't have somebody come in that's gonna be like, "No, you went too far. You're going to trial," or like, you know, "I'm taking everything you did, I'm throwing it out. I'm disbanding all these federal agencies." They can't let that happen because
Yeah.
then they're gonna be destroyed,
Yep.
and it's just self-preservation. Like, they're not going after Trump because he did anything illegal. I mean, hell, if you're gonna arrest any president, arrest George Bush, arrest
Yeah.
Obama, arrest Biden for all the stuff he's done, but, like, anyone that's going after Trump and refuses to go after George Bush,
Mhm.
literally slap yourself in your own face. Like,
Yeah.
it's outrageous. The guy, he started all these wars in
He
the Middle East over nothing,
Yep.
uh, and you're gonna get Trump over some dumb shit. It's like,
The
you look at how
smallest
they're treating the J6 people.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
They're
Crazy.
coming after guns. They're pushing all this stuff, coming after your kids. The rhetoric is outrageous. I've never in my entire life heard the rhetoric like this that they're pushing these days. And it's
Yeah.
just like, we've had all this talk about a new coup coming out. And I think I think they still will try it, but like, it's almost like that was dead on arrival because people were like, absolutely not.
Yeah,
We're
people were
not
like,
doing it.
"Nope."
And so then you hear people like Tucker Carlson, he's like, "We're gonna go kinetic with Russia in the next 12 months." And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense. Because if we're not gonna buy the lockdowns and mandates, they gotta do something else. I think they might do something in Africa. I think Africa is getting ready to pop off. We can use that as a proxy, just like World War II, right? We're starting in Africa and then we're
Yeah.
going in, well, not starting, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
I think there will be legit kinetic war because if the true purpose of this is control of the homeland, they need to get all of the troops away from the homeland so that they can enforce this on the people without worry of the military doing anything, which they're
Yeah,
also trying to
domestically.
destroy it from the inside out.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and like you're saying, if the military is, if they're domestically, right, then they're gonna be on a much better position to defend, but if there's a draft and all these military age males from, you know, 18 to 50, 60, whatever, if they're all snatched up and put somewhere, and then you know what? If intel is leaked and a bunch of them get murked, well, then that's less people that they have to oppose the edict that they want to push anyway. And not to sound all crazy, but I mean, if they wanted to, like this could be this could be bad. Chamber of Defense, appreciate you stopping by. So he says dropping by to show some love to all the builders and Risky. Works crazy. You'll have to catch replay later. Keep it going. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. And yeah, it's interesting that probably I don't know, maybe 2.5 years ago, I was talking with some people that kind of, think similarly, and they were like, "Look, if shit pops off, hey, Fairchild, good to see you. If shit pops off, it would be 100%. If the U.S. is working behind the scenes with China, with Russia, with all these other, you know, world powers, it would be pretty easy to get all these people killed that they're trying to get killed anyway, that some people think they may be trying to get killed, right? Military age males that are willing to fight, that are armed, they're gone. But
There's
what do I
so
know?
many different avenues to look at it from.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, we talked offline, like with our experience, like I like to look at things coming at it from the floor and the ceiling. What's
Mhm.
the absolute worst and what's like the best case scenario, right? The minimum and the maximum here.
Mhm.
And the minimum I see is people don't do anything and they never stand up for themselves and it's too late. We're too far in and without a whole lot of aggression and fighting, we slip into full on tyranny and it's hopeless. And they start to disarm us and where there's not enough people that do anything or nobody does anything.
Yeah.
That's like
Or
the best case scenario in
or
my
if
mind.
yeah, I mean, honestly,
It only gets worse from there, dude,
yeah.
because you can't vote your way out of this, and that's the
No.
unfortunate
No.
thing, and I hate that, and I know, like, I'm 34, So it's not like I've been alive through all the, since the 40s and 50s to see all the things going on in the world, but like I've read up on it and it just doesn't seem like when you come this far that voting works
Yeah.
because everyone can see it for what it is. They're going to need more emergency powers
Mhm.
because this guy's not going to win. And
Yeah.
look at what the only reason they're going after the orange man is so he won't be on the ballot again. What
Yeah.
happens when that doesn't work or people don't accept that? Like
And then you
it's
get
only gonna get
somebody
worse.
like Vivek coming in that's like totally out of nowhere, and he's like, "I'll totally, destroy the FBI, the CDC," and he just starts saying he's gonna,
They
totally.
can't let that happen, because
Yeah,
like, I look at him, I think off the top of my head, it's too good to be true. He's out of
yeah,
nowhere, I think he is
a paid
without
sub
proof,
for.
I think he's control of the opposition.
Yeah, yeah,
So and that's
I
just
would
my
see that.
gut feeling. I could be wrong,
Well,
but he's saying all the
what he's
right
saying,
things.
yeah, yeah, what he's saying is too, it's poetic to people that think like us, like, and I'm not saying we all think exactly the same. I'm just saying people that are of the mind of freedom, independence, and liberty, right? That's what I mean.
Well, I think, so let's get to the bigger goal, and I like to talk about this with some of my good friends. So we can talk about how they get there and the election and all that, but like the end goal isn't to have one certain president win.
Yeah.
The end goal is to be in control, two heads of the snake. If
Hmm.
this happens, they want to be in control. If that happens, they need to find a way to be in control still. So if nobody's going to vote for the blue person, whether it's Mike Obama or Newsom or somebody else or Biden or whoever, if they don't vote for that person and they can't vote for Trump, and they're not going to vote for DeSantis because we're making him look like an idiot out there, on the presidential campaigns, not saying the right things, and the super PACs are not following him anymore. We'll get him to go with Vivek, and Vivek will destroy everything, and then we'll go the exact opposite direction. You got full tyranny, full everything like we're headed towards right now, and then the exact opposite of that is the most hardcore nationalism, but I mean like to the extreme, and I think that's where this is a bad thing. It's gonna be like Nazi Germany. Like our side, the right side, the conservative side, will go and get vengeance, and they won't stop. And you'll need people like us, like we're having this conversation right now, to say, "This is enough. You held these people accountable for Nuremberg, for the COVID vaccines, for the elections, for stealing and, putting our nation's security at risk and genocide. But you don't need to go after all these other people, like, stop. Like, we don't need to have lynchings." I think that's the other side. If they can drive us towards the one candidate
Hmm.
who will go balls to the wall, I don't think it's Trump. Like, he didn't do it the first time. I
No,
think he
no.
needs to win to be given his shot or whatever, but, like, I think it's gonna help? I don't think there's any way it gets better. I think it's only
Yeah,
gonna get worse, dude.
I mean, the looking at what happened last time, like, let's be honest, and I've been pretty vocal, like, everything that's happened with the ATF, starting with the bump stocks, like, giving the ATF the ability to circumvent legislation and any act of Congress and be able to write rules that are interpreted as laws and have the full force of federal law behind it. That started with Trump, right? So that started with being pushed by him, and which brought us to everything that we've been fighting over the last few years of course, the bump stocks. Of course, shit, everything with CRS, but the 80% lowers and frames and jigs needing to be separated and all that shit, and then everything with solvent traps, everything with just constant the braces. Obviously, it's just constant shit, right? So I'm certainly not for Trump, right? But in the same breath, everybody right now is feeling the status of where we are as a country right now. Their money doesn't go as far. They're struggling. They're not, their quality of life is less than it was a few years back. So I think the most likely scenario is if, like, let's say Trump were to win, right? The most likely scenario would be that the quality of our life would, increase a little bit, right? The likelihood of him, or like you're saying, any president actually making things right in the country, right? Like dealing with the radicalism that we've seen from these people that are really trying to snatch our next, our generations to come. I mean, it's pure fucking evil what these people are doing, and I don't know. I don't know how to solve that, and I certainly don't think that one person or president would as well. So I agree with that sentiment.
Well, it's so multifaceted. Like, I think I think Trump will and should win, but I think the odds of him being named the next president is the least likely outcome. I think he deserves it, and again, I think he will if we're allowed. That makes me wanna hit myself in the own face, if we're allowed to vote for him.
Yeah, right.
If he can be on the ballot, he's gonna win it. There's no way he doesn't win it, but they can't let him do it.
If
So,
yeah, if they allow him
yeah.
to win, I think we may be in a position where the next election has already occurred, and we just don't
Yes,
know it yet. You know?
and I think what we're seeing in Ukraine could very well be, um I don't wanna say it's on purpose, but, like, they don't have elections during wartime, and
Yeah,
I feel like that's, there's probably some emergency clause or some bullshit that they can probably find or that somebody wrote in there in the past for something just like this that Biden can use or Kamala, whoever's still alive, before inauguration date,
yeah,
January 20th, to where they can not January 20th because the election would already have happened, but you know what I mean? Like they're
yeah.
gonna do something. They can't just not. Like there's no way. There's no
Yeah.
way.
And let's take it back to all right, so everyone, if you're in a safe place to do so, close your eyes and think back to a simpler time in 2020 when your beautiful cities were being burnt down by, purple-haired psychopaths and a bunch of white people that were really mad for black people, which resulted in 34 minorities dying. It's so crazy to think about that too, by the way, but aside from that, with all that shit that happened, they were mad for shit that had nothing to do with them, right? What do you think will happen if, let's just say, if somebody like Trump or even Vivek or whomever, right? Like, and look, guys, I think all of us believe so much less in voting. We want to believe in the possibility of us having an impact in our country and making a change, right? So I'm not saying for anyone to give up or anything like that, but it's hard for me to say vote or but whatever. But let's go back and say, so let's just say Trump won. Okay. What do you think those same F-tards will do to those same cities in the same, I mean, they would go nuts. These
I
people
think
literally
it'll
think he
happen
committed 80
preemptively.
crimes.
It'll
Yeah,
happen before we get to the point where it's like he won and we're just waiting on inauguration because it'll be so obvious by then that he's going to win. Though we'll have to do something before then. But that's the thing. It's like it doesn't necessarily have to be a summer of love. It could be,
yeah.
but just because that's how it was this one time doesn't mean it's going to be like that again.
Well,
It
now
could
those fools
be,
are in full kit. They're in
yeah.
full effing kit. So I think it would go down differently. Sorry, not to cut you off there.
No, you're fine. Like, so it could be in the form of a kinetic war with Russia. It could be in the form of, and I think, and I'm going to say allegedly just to keep us safe here.
Mhm.
Bill Gates had another little pre-run of. So I got the hiccups all this beer.
No,
Um,
you're good.
of the next pandemic, and they were saying, and I'm paraphrasing that, like, it was gonna target children.
Mm,
So, yeah, so if there's something like, because let's be real, the next mandates aren't gonna work. They're gonna because people what are the odds the same amount of people buy it? It's
no.
probably as close to 0 as you could get.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people will, but not the same amount. So in order to have a similar effect or an effect worth, even attempting, they're gonna have to go harder in the paint on the censorship and repercussions from breaking the mandates,
Mhm.
or they're gonna have to make whatever the actual illness or pandemic is way more deadly to where people are actually
Yep.
afraid of it.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Or force it upon people that are forced to comply, right? That are under the care of the same type of people all day that we're talking about, right? Kids at school.
Mhm.
I mean, we're we're in a life, and this is kind of partly why we are where we are right now, because most of us live a life where we're either paying thousands of dollars for other people to take our kids so we can work, or they're in public schools, or we're paying thousands of dollars for private schools, or whatever people's individual situation is. I know it's going to vary, but your kids are, if they're school age, are under the care of others all day. So because so many adults likely aren't going to, follow or abide by any of the bullshit. If they try anything like that, I that's why when I kept hearing like, mid-September is when this new, pandemic is gonna hit, I was like, man, I don't know how they would ever pull that off unless it was a very lethal situation. But the kids thing, that totally makes sense. And then of course the parents would be at the mercy of whatever the situation is for the kids.
Well, and on top of that,
I had not heard
like
anything about that, by the way, about the Bill Gates thing.
yeah, well, before the COVID-19 happened, there was like a meeting of the minds. I don't know if it was World Economic Forum or something, but it was like so and I wish I had the documents, as AJ would say, but like
Yeah,
they had some summit or meeting before that, and it kind of was like an exact dry run of what happened. They just recently had another one, and it was for like it affecting kids. So that's why I say
damn.
coincidence, right? Coincidence pile. It happened
Yeah,
last time, it just happened again. So take it
yeah,
for what it's worth. Uh, but like you alluded to in the beginning, they're doing it because they want a response. Because they've
yeah,
already named what has Brandon already said the worst threat to us was? White supremacy, Southern evangelical Christian America first types, right? Like,
yeah,
why would you say that when it's statistically not true? Because he's already pre-programming. It's like The Simpsons. They do that to soften people up. We've been
yep,
labeled the enemy. So when if they can prompt a response by people to fight back, if enough of their kids get killed, if enough
mm,
of uh, you know, whatever, if they've infringed on your rights enough, or they come after enough of your guns or target you for whatever reason, then that plays right into their hands of these people are trying to commit sedition, right? They're trying to take over the country and subvert all of this, so we can't let them vote. So it makes the steal that much easier. It's why that's
yeah,
why we have to be peaceful because they have made the bad moves, not us. We haven't done anything.
yep,
We've literally done nothing wrong. They have done it. So they're going to have
yep,
to continue this and make it worse in order to secure them not going to prison or getting the death penalty for committing high treason or genocide.
yeah. I mean, they're already essentially, leading you know, um, a fiat dictatorship, so giving them complete control like that, that'd be the only way they could walk away, scot free, is if they are
Mhm.
literally in control of everything. Thank you,
Which is why they
Agorizer.
got to come for the guns. You can't come for you
Yeah,
can't and it's almost logistically impossible, but they're going to try to do something.
yeah. I mean, even if real quick, so Agorizer, thank you. Risky shorts are fire. They absolutely are. Until tomorrow, FJB. Gotta love that. You do an excellent job. Everyone here, subscribe to Risky Chrisky if you do not. Excellent channel. I've watched every single thing that he drops,
Thanks, man.
even if I can't get on right away. Yeah, man, absolutely. Oh, and thank you to Daddy Daughter Podcast. Holy moly, just gifted another. Oh snap! He just gifted another channel membership, so now JC9 is a channel member. Hell yeah, appreciate you, man. Yeah, it's crazy that I wouldn't have pictured us being here where we are now talking about the types of things that we're talking about openly. It's pretty terrifying.
Yeah, it is when you when you look at it holistically from a 30,000 foot view
Hmm.
perspective because it's not just election fraud. It's not just uh, Nuremberg 2 type stuff with the jab.
Hmm.
It's not just grooming. they're literally like that adrenochrome stuff that all these conspiracy like that stuff is patented and real. Like
Yeah.
there's a reason they're trashing Sound of Freedom. There's a
Mhm.
reason all these natural disasters keep happening and the Clinton Foundation keeps showing up to help and all the kids go missing. Like
Yeah.
There's a reason the Pizzagate judge was elected to the Supreme Court,
Yeah.
right? Like
Funny how
they're getting
things
paid,
work
yeah,
out.
like, it's just
Dude,
they're
apparently,
diddling
like
kids everywhere, and it's like, we're
yeah.
worried about election fraud, like,
Yeah.
it's so much worse.
Yeah, damn. I mean, it
Epstein,
yeah, dude, what's up? Okay, so the client list for Epstein, holy shit, like, what the fuck, right?
they're
That's
all in on it, that's why we don't have it.
yeah, clearly, right? Like, I could literally and I bet you and I could, like, roll the dice and just jokingly write one up, and we would be, like, 85% spot on
I've
if we
seen
just guessed.
all the alleged flight records
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that, so I've seen those floating around,
There's a
but
few
it's
that's like,
like,
"Whoa, really?"
yeah.
Like, dang, but most of them are like, "Alright, yeah, I could see that. That, looks like a total pedo." You know?
Yeah, like oh man, like, I just assume it's all, like, the Podesta types, all of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and that takes it even further, dude. Oh my god, I know we're going down a rabbit hole.
That's alright.
The
That's why we're here.
Podestas, and then what's the dude from Lincoln Park who committed suicide? That, like, looks like his dad. One of the Podestas looks like that guy's dad, who he and Anthony Bourdain and then Chris, whatever his name is from the other one who killed himself.
I
Um,
don't even know.
oh god, Chris Cornell. They all committed suicide around the same time, and apparently there was, like, documentaries coming out about a lot of this stuff, and it's just
Dang.
all like, in retrospect, it's like, "What is really going on out there?"
Damn, that's crazy, and I had no idea about that.
Yeah, look
Wild
into
Weasel,
it.
thank you. I definitely will. He says, "Dude, both you guys are my 2 favorite channels." Hell yeah, appreciate that. And, Bob oh, yeah, so I am gonna bring this up before the end of the show. MGB store is giving 10% off with, code DARKGLOWY. It's hilarious. It's
Dark
for the
blue.
DLD family. Uh, Bob's today. Bob's be Is it your birthday, Bob? Happy flipping birthday, bro. Happy birthday, man. Everyone show, Bob some love in chat, some birthday wishes. Yeah, it's crazy, man, and, when one would sit down and reflect, like, what does fighting back look like? Well, fighting back, doing something as simple as like canceling Amazon, right? Canceling PayPal, canceling Disney Plus, canceling HBO Max, canceling like all the basic shit that like I did that 2 years ago ish, right? And I mean, it sucks, right? But I didn't want to get trapped in this life of convenience and consumerism and put convenience and consumerism before my values, right? And like even like ABC Mouse and stuff, the stuff that like my daughter would go play with online, I'm like, man, that shit is owned by Disney, bro. you know,
Mhm.
so I'm like, I don't trust it. But then like, all right, getting more active like politically and fighting back politically. Okay, well, we just talked to like the likelihood of that actually making an impact is little, and I'm not going to discourage anyone from doing it. Do your thing. um, but even if one were to sit back and think about, okay, from an entertainment and just kind of a thought exercise standpoint only, okay, I wish I had the bean footage disclaimer to roll, but um, what we're can you give like a little dry run of your disclaimer?
Yeah, don't break any laws. We're not telling you to go do anything. Like, this is just speculation, right? We're just looking at this and analyzing it critically,
Hmm.
uh, from a non-literal standpoint. Like, we're just if stuff were to happen and there's no 911, right? Or,
Yeah,
you have to act to save your family, like, what are you gonna do?
yeah, yeah. Thank you for that. So with that said, yeah, don't break any state, local, or federal laws or
Mhm.
rules or regulations or restrictions or anything at all, and then go say that I told you to. That thing that risky.
Because we're
His
telling you not to do it.
Yeah, yeah, it's beautiful. Your execution there is incredible. Dang, Dan Cooper said 2,000 kids still unaccounted for in La Lahaina. Crazy. I
Some of the best conspiracy I've heard so far is that they know it was China and they're
Ooh,
not coming out. That's why they're hiding it. But that assumes that, that incident commander of Las Vegas, who's now the Maui police chief, is acting in good faith, who's also the coroner, which I find oddly suspicious.
very suspicious. That's it's crazy, bro. Crazy. Um, so let's think about this from a tactical perspective, okay? If you were to put one person in their home, and let's say they were to have Kit, okay? When when we're talking about like fighting back, right? Let's say somebody were to fight back, even if you're talking about like a small local unit, I'll word it that way, okay? One dude in a plate carrier with a long gun and a secondary against like APCs and dude, it's the only way to prepare for, the worst case scenario of living in a world without rule of law is getting very familiar with small unit tactics and getting a small unit. Like the lone wolf is not going to last very long, and we've covered that forgot the dude's name, but it's he lived for 2 years in Bosnia in total like no rule of law, total civil war, people getting sniped in the middle of the street in the middle of the day. And I mean, if your neighbors saw you go outside to poop, they would come attack you because the only reason you'd be pooping is if you had food, right? Like it got to like that level. I forgot the guy's name. Somebody out there could probably remind me, but we read his like diaries of 2 years. I think it was 2 years living without rule of law, and man, this is nothing to be glorified. So I don't want anyone to be confused that like this is being glorified, but it should be talked about as the worst case scenario type shit.
Yeah, people always ask me, and I've thought about doing videos, and I might still do one, but like, how are you gonna handle the ATF trying to raid your house? Or like, how do you
Yeah.
do CQB when the man comes? And it's like, if you're talking about fighting back when a team, it doesn't matter if it's who it is. It could be Italian, you know, army people. It doesn't matter if
Yeah.
it's the ATF or it's your local SWAT team. If there's a team of men stacking up on your door to enter and clear your house, or even if they have the other tactic of just having a robot come in and clack off a claymore near
Yeah.
you, like, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can fight back. You might get a couple of them, but you're not living through that.
Yeah.
That's a decisive engagement. You will die in the process. And it
Yeah.
doesn't matter how many you take with you, you will die. So if we're looking at it from like, let's try to live perspective, that's not how you live.
Yeah.
You could have an attack, maybe not tactical, you could have an advantage in one part of a gunfight, but the way you win is you don't do that, right? You're not there, or you don't have give them a reason to target you, or by when you see them targeting other people, you bug out, or you do whatever your contingency plans are. You choose people. I get comments a lot, and they're like, "You're not going to fight the government. You're not going to do anything with an AR-15." And it's like, I'm not going to go up against an M1A or an M1 Abrams with an AR-15 or small arms. That would be stupid.
Yeah.
Uh, but the reason, and again, this goes back to the disclaimer. I'm not saying that I'm not trying to tell you we're going to have some insurgent war or we're going to be guerrilla warriors or guerrilla, combatants fighting the US government, because I
Yeah.
don't know what's going to happen and I don't want any of that to happen. I want to go
Yeah.
back to watching Braves baseball games and being in the dark because it doesn't matter. Remember how nice it was to be naive, right? Like,
Yeah.
just lost in the sauce, just watching sports events and shit like that. That has
Dude,
no bearing on reality.
I miss just going, and yeah, Fairchild Selco, that was his name. If you guys haven't seen it, go just whatever search of your choice, go search Selco. Um, I think it's Selco Shit at the Fan or Without Rule of Law, whatever it is. It's his stories of living at least a year or more. It's crazy. Yeah, dude, I think back all the time and I'm like, man, I miss when I would just wake up, shower, go to work, live my life, joke around, be whatever, me, right? And then just come home and just and have no idea about what's actually going on. I used to watch, get this, I used to watch the news. Okay. And not watching the news to pick it apart and go do my own research on other things, right? Like I used to watch the news and consume the media, right? My wife would always have MSNBC on and I just would always like hear it and was present to it. But after a while it was like, bro, you believe this shit, dude? So yeah, I miss that. I miss having that, ignorance is bliss kind of you know, outlook on things.
Hmm.
It's crazy.
But like you alluded to with the small unit tactics,
Yeah.
there's we don't know what's going to happen. And that's where the term, and I use the term Minuteman because it sounds cooler than militia. Militia's got a really bad rap,
Yeah.
right? All you think about is morbidly obese dudes wearing Realtree and BDUs,
Yeah.
right?
They're
And
mossy oak.
just on Vice documentaries, just making us all look bad.
Yeah.
So to get away from that, talk about the Minuteman. I look at it as it's more. I don't want to say more elite, but we're in a different time because I can't sit there and say we're just gonna muster up all the militia, the irregular militia, right? The unorganized militia that call every swinging dick who has a rifle to come form up, and then we'll teach them tactics. Like I
Hell
don't want
no.
to be in that group. Y'all are gonna die. Y'all are cannon fodder,
Dude,
and that's
and
one small
honestly,
possibility out of 1,000. That's like a probably not gonna happen.
yeah, yeah. And
What you,
honestly, running a class recently, I'm watching all these dudes run M4s and I'm like, yo, I don't trust the way they're running that safety, bro.
Mhm.
Like I don't want their muzzle to meet the back of
And
my
those are guys taking
dome.
classes.
Yeah, that's
Much less dudes who don't take classes or like are just
damn.
the average guy, which there's way more of them out there. So if we're gonna have any if we're gonna make any impact, you better be well versed. You better understand how to work with a team that at face value, they know what they're doing. And you say, "Do you know how to do this?" "Yeah, we know how to do this. Let's do a dry run or two," and they look good. Like you have to know what your role is and what their role is in advance if you
Yeah,
want this to work because we don't know and you got to have the network, right? Because we don't know what's
yeah,
going to happen. Is it going to
yeah,
be something foreign? Is it going to be a civil war type deal? Is it going to be a revolution type deal? Is, there's so many different possibilities that you have to be able to know when and how to be the gray man, the guerrilla fighter, the insurgent, when to blend in, when to be unarmed because you're going to go through a checkpoint because you got to know when to fight and when not to because you don't have the ability to stand toe to toe with what's about to happen. You're going to have to
yeah,
fight in the shadows and figure out how to do that unconventional warfare.
yeah. And it would be best to become very familiar with things that could leverage out your what's the best way to say this? Becoming well versed in chemistry could be very powerful for those. Study energetics, for an
Americana
example.
Pipe Dream has improvised field munitions books legally for sale on their website.
Yeah. Fairchild, yes, Gerchop does come around. Actually,
Gert shop.
yeah, he's still out here. Nearly every stream, actually. If you say his name 3 times, he may show up tonight. Wild Weasel, my local gun shop owner says that ammo is going to be impossible to get in 2024 due to sending all NATO rounds to Europe to I'm sorry, wow.
You
Sorry,
did.
Gov contracts. Thoughts? What are your thoughts,
All
Risky?
them goy contracts.
All those damn goys. I
I think
thought
it's
it
totally
said
possible.
I thought it said
Why
goy.
wouldn't they send all of our ammo somewhere else?
Yeah,
Hey, let's actually, I got a better one. Let's deplete all of our munitions and anti-air systems and then just not really even start replenishing them.
Yeah, yeah, just don't
And
worry
the
about it.
only argument I hear is we're doing that so we can redo our stock and get new stuff. It's like, well, where's the new stuff? Because I don't see it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to be, like, completely out of 110 ammo and then say on national TV that we're completely out of 110 ammo, which is,
Yeah.
like, exactly what we would need to be effective in fighting against another country's,
World
uh
War III is on the horizon, and we're literally running on empty, and we're like,
yeah,
we're the best. We're the best, right? It's like we're
yeah,
about to get knocked the fuck out as a country. Like,
yeah,
and everyone can see it except for Pedo Peter and the regime.
yeah. Chuck Norris Gun Club, good to see you, bro. How to trust the trainers is my issue. Some of the top trainer yo, honestly, I wouldn't even go mess with the upper echelon of, trainers. Most of them are glorified, and a lot of them are like, "Bro, where'd you come from?" Right? Like, how like, what you know, I would just look locally for training and take some of the lower tier basic classes because, honestly, some of the most high speed advanced shit is just elevated versions of basics anyway. It's all in the basics with everything, right? But I digress. But take
Look
some of the lower
into
tiers.
and I don't get any kickbacks or anything off of this, but force on force training is good.
Oh yeah,
And if you want to learn, especially if you're like a civilian or you don't have any military or law enforcement background, look into SNS training. That's the YouTuber Brent0331, um, Christopher Larson. Those guys run it, and it's all force on force infantry style tactics.
mm.
Um, and that, if you, as opposed to just a basic rifle or carbine class, if you want a little bit extra, I would look into something like that.
Yeah. I just took an intermediate pistol course and an advanced gunfighter course, and I mean, it was great. I had a blast, and it definitely was a little bit of a workout too, which that's kind of why I started doing training when I did a little while back. I was like, you know what, this year I'm going to take training more seriously, and also physical fitness and all that. Getting in the best condition that I can because I realized as a very round person, I'm not going to be very effective, and more importantly, I'm not going to look very cool in a plate carrier. So, had to focus on that.
Rule one is look cool. That's what I
Oh,
hear.
of course. Yeah, that's the most important thing, which is why I got this tactical G-Shock.
Ooh.
Yeah, actually, this thing is pretty fire. G-Shocks are where it's at, y'all. F those expensive watches.
There's this, and I know I'm name dropping a bunch, but there's a prepper YouTuber, Southern Prepper One. He's pretty cool. He's like an OG. He
Yeah,
mentioned, and it goes back to your sort of your point earlier, where you go out and take a shit during WROL, and
yeah,
you're gonna get attacked by your neighbors.
yeah. Where'd
But
that poop come from?
he said stop. He goes, if you ever like fluctuate in weight or like keep some of your larger clothes or go out and buy like a size or two larger. And he goes, so that way, when everyone else is emaciated and you're not, you can put on the larger clothes and look like you're
Look
emaciated. I
like
was like, that
you've
is
lost.
top notch prepping advice, dude. That's
Hell yeah.
exactly what I need.
Dude, that's exactly like that mindset,
Yeah.
that is where you win. Like,
You got to
and
think like MacGyver. You just have,
yeah.
it's like, it goes back to being bold, if you know what I mean. Like, you got to just
Mhm.
know one more thing than the next guy. And that's it. If you just
Yep.
know one more thing, you're gonna have an advantage on them, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep. 100%. And put more rounds through your guns, man. I'm seeing so many dudes that are just, building guns, buying kit, and, run your guns, train, even if all you can do is go to a static range. Run the dog shit out of your guns. You got to.
mhm.
You have to get those reps in, and then dry fire. Clear your house, right? Use the same tactics that you learn. Obviously you can practice, you know, poor skills too, but you know, use every single tactic you can around your house. Dry firing. Use the laser shit. Whatever you can do to get the reps in. That's super important.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Putting your equipment into stressful positions to see when and how it will fail is going to help you, because if you don't want the first time dealing with this to be when it's like your life is on the line or your kid's life is on the line or something like that. So it goes perfectly with what we were talking about before we started this. I put out a video literally today, and it was a top 5 video, and one of the things I talk about is anti-walk pins.
Mhm.
And I've never had, I didn't put the anti-walk pins on for no reason. The first time I did it was with a Colt. I bought a Colt AR-15A4 clone, or it's the M16A4 clone. It's called the AR-15A4,
Mhm.
and the pins kept walking out, and so I got anti-walk pins for it, and no problems after that. Fast forward to another rifle, have some pins walk out, so I get the same anti-walk pins, and I've been doing that for a few years.
Mhm.
Never a problem. I probably got 3,000 plus rounds on different guns with anti-walk pins in them,
Mhm.
and not cassette drop-in triggers, so like two-piece triggers, and I've never
Standard
had a
mil spec.
problem. Well, they're not mil spec, like, they're two-stage triggers, but they're two-piece as well, the standard
Gotcha.
two-piece.
Yeah.
So I put the video out today, and people are busting my chops, and they're like, "You're not supposed to do this." I'm like, "What?" You know? I've never had a problem, so I look it up, sure enough, you got fucking Brownells putting out videos like, "You shouldn't do this, it's causing unneeded friction, and they could wear out the springs."
That's
So,
crazy.
I've never had that issue, but maybe I haven't ran those guns enough, or maybe, maybe it's a one-off and I'm lucky, but I had to retract the video, right? Like, I can't, if I'm clearly wrong about that, even though I haven't encountered that malfunction, like,
Yeah.
I'm lucky I haven't.
Yeah.
Because we should be out there testing our gear and seeing, is this going to work or is it not? Because literally the only purpose to have that firearm is to protect your life. And if it doesn't work when you need it, it's useless.
Yeah. Yeah, and when we were talking about that, I was like, "Shit, I have anti-walk pins." I get the KNS and a few, but in almost all of my ARs, I have anti-rotation, anti-walk pins. But part of the reason that I did that was, the what is it? Fostech Echo binary triggers, the cassette style drops in, right?
Hmm.
And, yeah, I guess I don't think I have an AR that's the standard, two-piece, trigger and hammer, setup, with anti-walk or anti-rotation pins. But my first time when I really rattled off the binary trigger, and we were timing it, and we were timing like, damn, 2.8 seconds to dump 30 round mags. And, I looked, and the rear trigger pin was gone, and I looked through, I could see through my lower, and I was like, "Oh my god, first off, how's it still running?" But I mean, it's all captured, right? And secondly, I was like, "Damn, I need, anti-walk pins." So that's when I upgraded it. But yeah, I mean, I had no idea. Like, I've been running those for years. Granted, they're with the cassette style triggers, but I had no idea either.
Well, it goes back to the problem to begin with, is either the holes were out of spec on the receiver, or they were installed properly, or whatever. But
Mhm.
I know how they go. I know how to orient them correctly,
Yeah.
and 2 of these were from the factory like this, and they weren't cheap rifles either. Like, one was a Colt, the other one was a Rock, was a my Rock River, my SBR now.
Mhm.
I have another one, it was a PSA, so I'm not really throwing that in there because it's a PSA, but, uh, I still have to figure out how to fix that if they continue to walk out even after installed correctly. Maybe I just put the old ones back in since I didn't have a problem, but, you know, there are people, I'm not the gun expert. There are guys who know way more than me, and apparently I've been doing some stuff wrong, so breaking the rules.
Yeah, dude, I learn a bunch of stuff like that all the time. Like, a whole bunch of stuff, especially Glock related shit. It's like, you could think that you totally understand a platform, but you got to have the heart of a student going into anything, right? And be willing
Yeah.
to learn and be willing to go in and be like, "Hey guys, I was wrong about this. I did a little bit of research. Most people would just jump in the comments and be like, "You don't know what you're talking about." So
I
that's
was
very
about to. I
humble of
was
you.
about to. You fuck you. You know, I'm
You
making YouTube
dare.
videos. I was like,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
fuck, I'm wrong again.
You know what though? Good on you for actually, looking into it and being humble. And most people cannot handle being wrong, and that's why we get into the internet fights that people do nowadays, which is unfortunate. I just disengage. But man, most of the M16s that I see dudes run, not most of them. I'd say, half of the ones I've seen have anti-rotation pins. Maybe if it's full auto or if you have a binary trigger or something, maybe that's what, you know, that would give people like I don't know, the desire to put them in or something like that. But I don't know. I never would have thought that that would have caused a problem. But I don't know. Do they still? I think with the KNS pins, they still rotate, but they don't. No, shit. I don't know. Maybe the hammer pin doesn't rotate, but the trigger pin does. I'm not sure. You guys
See, that's
let
the
me
thing.
know.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
I have
I,
no idea. And
I'll listen to
apparently, the
Brown House.
worst thing that it does is it just causes more friction, which can wear that down, the
Yeah.
spring down over time, maybe, or cause malfunctions. But
I thought I
we'll
was
see.
wrong once, but I was mistaken. Yeah. Yeah, I honestly, had I not had the problem with the pin actually not walking, running out of the, receiver, but I was rattling hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rounds out of there, and I don't know at what point I lost it, so who knows? And you know what? Who knows? Maybe binary triggers are gonna be next, that the gay TF is gonna come after, so,
I'm
we'll
surprised they're
see.
still allowing people to still have these things,
I'm surprised as well, and it's funny because
allowing it.
allowing, yeah. I I've put out constantly, I'm like, "Braces, braces, braces, binary triggers," and I was like, "Man, I'm gonna have to." And of course, the, 80%, the all that stuff. I'm like, "Man, I gotta draw a line somewhere." So my line's pretty, yeah. Waco, never forget, never forgive. Yeah, you guys are gonna wanna see, the new clothing store that's gonna be opening this week, and I'm almost done for Detective John Kimball and the other people that have asked. I do have I guess it's a merch store that's dropping, and this is because you guys asked for it, because I do have the Great Start, merch line dropping, which is the first agent that was sleepy on the roof at Waco. And let's just say it's some artwork inspired by the first ATF agent that took a nap on the roof at Waco. So that's it's a cool design. I got the hoodie over there, but it's too far away to go and grab. You guys have seen the hoodie and the pillow and stuff. So keep a lookout. I'll drop that this weekend, and then we'll go from there. Um, so now you also carry, right? Well, what's your EDC?
Glock 19.
Nice. And you're no longer running an Aimpoint T1 micro on the slide, right?
No, we no longer use the Unity Atom slide. That thing was pretty sweet though.
Dude, it was fire.
It was different.
I loved it. You still have the slide?
I didn't. I sold it for big bucks, big time
Dang.
money.
I was gonna say I would
Pay
love to
off my
mount.
house with
Yeah, right.
it.
I'll wrap put a little T1 micro on that thing,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing looked fire, man. I love the idea of the enclosed optic. The Gideon optics makes the Aimpoint Acro style. This one is it comes with the AR mount, but you can pop that off and mount it directly on any Aimpoint Acro mount or an RMR to Acro plate or whatever. Now, do you also carry an extra mag, or are you just rolling solo?
It depends.
Okay.
I would like this. The correct answer is I should, right? I have one close. There's always one. I got a fanny pack with some stuff in there. It's always within arm's reach. But like on my person, that's if I'm like, if I'm going into town, the
Okay.
big town. I might wear that, but most of the time, no.
The big, big town.
Yeah.
What about knives? Are you a knife guy at all?
I'm like a weird knife guy. I
Okay.
have if I have a knife on me, it's not for self-defense. It's for like doing dad stuff, like cutting straws down the sides for kitty cups.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Or opening
Yeah.
boxes.
So more like utilitarian
Yeah.
stuff.
Like little tiny razor blades or like cool neck knives, something like that.
Oh, okay. All right. So you don't typically like carry a folder with you, or have like a dedicated carry blade?
I have in the past. So like I've carried Spyderco's or Benchmade's. I think I have a was it CRKT? That's
Yeah.
the if I carry one now, that's what I carry. But mainly
Nice.
I'll just do like a little mini Leatherman, just something small that'll fit in the little corner small jean pocket of your
Hell yeah.
pants. That does 99% of what I need.
Oh yeah. Shit. I mean, those things you could do anything with that.
Hmm.
Night custom builds, 81 watching. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah, man. Appreciate you. 83 now, actually. Guys, hit the like if you would and do all the YouTube stuff so, so they can't shut us TF down. This is my first time this year being strike free. All of my
Very
strikes have
nice.
expired on my channel.
Very
All
nice.
all four. December to mid August.
I can grab a gun real fast, give you another one if you need.
Yeah, just hold it up, handle it.
Dry fire it. Point it
Oh,
right
yeah.
at the camera.
Dude, if they saw you going POV with it, oh man, that's because apparently that's their thing. They say the reason that they don't want people to be able to handle firearms when they go live is because they fear that people will do terrible things on a live stream. I'm like, dude, they're gonna do that. Those evil people are
Y'all
gonna
show
do that shit
beheadings on
anyway.
YouTube. Get real. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? And naked yoga and, 16-year-old chicks twerking and all the shit that
Yeah.
I've seen on YouTube. I'm like, how is this okay? But I
The
can't
cartoons
handle.
alone, the Spider-Man weird shit, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
Those
dude.
weird kitty ones? The fuck?
Yeah. What's that new you talking about the one with like the chick Spider-Man with like the white mask and like they got like three different colored Spider-Mans, a white one, a black one,
No,
and
this is
a
like
red
a
one.
weird, it's like grooming kid stuff. It's like cartoons, but like Spider-Man's doing weird stuff and it's like, I don't know.
What? Yeah, I haven't. Don't jinx it. Thank you. Too many choices. Yeah, I haven't seen that. I have seen some weird shit on other stuff that my daughter watches, but it's crazy. Tim Harper, thank you for the super chat. He says the ATF did file charges against me for having a binary trigger as a machine gun. This is true, and classify my braced AR pistol as an SBR. The Fed prosecutor declined charges. And so he did, and I think he even got his pistol back as well. I say pistol because they were considering it in SBR, but most local law enforcement have no effing clue what they're talking about or what they're looking at. And I've dealt with that when local law enforcement has pulled me over, and I got a couple things that is way nicer gear than they have, and they're like, "Is this?" They don't know, you know. But thank you for that, and glad to know that you're free. SC knives are dope too. Yeah, I do like those. I wouldn't say they're the best though. I wouldn't say they're the best, but they're definitely good. Um, and now, what about your long guns? So I know you've talked about PSA. You got your AK, which I think your AK is also PSA, right?
Hmm.
What
I
about
like
your other
PSA, man.
ones? Yeah,
A lot of
I'm
guys shit on them, but
I'm down for them.
they're all right.
Typically, what I find is the guys that are shitting on PSA are like rocking Knights armament and shit like that. You know?
Yeah, I mean, if I could afford all Knights guns or like H&K 416s and stuff like that, I probably wouldn't spend money on cheaper guns. Why would I?
But I
But
don't
like,
think you would shit on them either, though.
no, like the PSAs work fine. And
Yeah.
am I saying go get the cheapest Freedom AR-15 model they have on sale? I'm not saying don't, but like if I would rather spend money and get a lower and an upper from them with a FN barrel and then buy a
Mhm.
nice bolt carrier group to throw in there,
Bingo.
and just spend the money there. But
Yep. Dude,
Rock River Arms, that's one of my main rigs. KAK
that's right.
Industry, I got one of theirs.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's right. You had the funky upper with the what was it? That rear sight that's like milled
the
in
U,
the
the Rock River Arms U2 UTE2 is what it is.
okay. Yeah.
I got an
And it
old one.
has the rear sight is actually part of the upper receiver, right?
Yeah, it's basically like a cross between a fixed carry handle upper and a flat top upper, where as soon as the sight goes up, you have that rear part, but no connecting bar, and then it's just pick in front of it.
That's right. That's right.
I'd show you, it's right there, but
Yeah. No, I mean, dude, I
no need for
when I
showing.
first saw it, I was like, dude, is that shit attached? I don't see a pick rail there. Like, I think it's cool. Like I like kind of odd or obscure shit, you know?
I was at the pawn shop and he's like, "I got something you might like." I was like, "What?" He pulled it out. I was like, "Yeah, dude, I gotta get that."
Done. Yeah. Did you
Done.
buy it as a was it a complete upper or just a stripped upper?
It was just a standard 16-inch complete rifle.
Oh, it was complete. Gotcha.
Yeah, so I swapped out. Was it Form 1 where
You
you do it
build it.
yourself?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Form
just did
one.
that and swapped the barrels.
So are you into building as much? Are you just kind of like piecing stuff together or
That's the only one I've ever built. I like to piece them together. Buy a
gotcha.
base rifle and then pretty much change every single thing on it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then use the other parts the takeoffs for
Yeah.
another like, throwaway or a homeless person
Oh,
army
yeah. I
rifle,
don't The more random and mix and match, the better. So, like,
Yeah.
all my Surefires are different colors with different bodies and tail switches, and
Hell yeah.
some are black and green. Yeah, I love it.
Did you get a chance to run the Goon Beam at all?
Yes, yes. The Goon Beam did very well. So I used that. That was an early on iteration of a marksman rifle I was messing with, and I used it as the
Mhm.
IR flood, and it worked really well. So I used that
Nice.
with a piggybacked aim point micro above a scope to passive aim with.
Hell yeah. Nice.
Yeah, dude.
So
Right
you're
now it's not on a mount. I just use it. I have it literally as an infrared flashlight in a chest rig.
oh, nice. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll be stepping up here pretty soon to get my nods going. I finally got this as set up as I possibly can. I got
Yeah.
my ear pro mounted on there with the Team Windy Peltor freaking mount things or the rail Team Windy rail mount things with the Peltors on there, and I got the Wilcox G24, and I'll be picking up a tube and a J arm, and then boom, I'm ready to go, baby.
There you go.
Well, I'm mostly ready to go. I have a Holosun. Everyone's going to talk shit. I got a Holosun, the PID Dual, which is it's for a pistol, okay, but it's 1,000 lumen white light. It's a Viz green laser and an IR laser that you can toggle back and forth between. And I'm going to be using that just to kind of mess around with, get a feel for it. Then I'll get a Packer D ball or, maybe the new dope ass EOTech laser. Of course, I'll lawfully procure a full power laser, of course.
Well, so the new thing is the passive aiming. So just
Yeah.
using the dot tube through a tube. Um, but here's like the funny thing is, yeah, that works, but it's like, is it necessarily passive if you have to use IR loom?
I would think that,
Because you're still throwing a flood down there.
yeah,
Um,
in my head, it's more passive to use the laser, right? Like the word passive, it would seem, I don't know. I mean, I guess I understand that that means you're using your IR flood as a torch and you're looking through an optic or like a red dot or something like that, and that's how you passive aim through a tube, right?
well, so like when I think passive, my thought is there's nothing that they see at all from your end. So
Mm,
like I'm
okay.
just looking through the dot because if I should like throw an IR loom down there
I see what you're
so I can
saying.
identify, why not just have the laser as well? Because I'm already throwing the light down there,
Yeah, yeah,
right? I know that falls under the passive, but it's like it's kind of apples to or it's kind of hit or miss based on how people want to do it. I think the best use of money is to get a vampire light and a
mhm,
nice red dot or EOTech and just do
yeah,
the passive aiming and not even worry about the laser. Not saying, not critiquing you because you already have it, but like uh, as the cheapest method of entry,
yeah,
just get a dual purpose light, white light that you can just twist and do IR, and then just
yeah.
IR, or excuse me, night vision capable red dot.
Yeah, and and I think most red dots are IR like on the first setting or
Hmm.
depending on what people are running out there. But the vampire lights aren't crazy expensive too, right?
They're like $400, but when you look at it like, okay, so a Surefire's $300 anyway.
Yeah,
It's $100 more, and I don't need a laser immediately.
yeah. Here's the perfect man to ask, Spectra Solutions. Appreciate you coming in. He actually does night shoots. You know what? I think he is geographically between us somewhere. So you guys would be
Sorry.
good to chat with because he does night shoots and he puts them on. The whole reason he started this was to do shoots, but also night shoots where people can do whatever. Some guys will do white light and then they'll have like a nods night and then, whatever, low light, no light kind of thing. But he's doing them for like $65. Like it's like nothing to get in.
Hey,
Yeah. So you guys should definitely get together. He's a
I might
really
have
good
to do
dude.
that.
Yeah, and check out his Instagram too, Spectre Solutions. He actually just won the red dot on Tuesday's stream. He won the Gideon Optics Mediator, which is a badass aimpoint acro mount um, AR pistol caliber carbine optic. This thing is fire.
Yo, Dark,
Um,
I might have to go. I'm getting
you're good, brother. I
the
appreciate you
knocks
coming
about that
on.
time.
Yeah, yeah. No, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you taking the time to come on, and it's great to have you back. This is the second time you've been on my show now, and thank you. And everyone out there, remind everyone where they can find you on IG and YouTube and all that, and say your goodbye, and we'll bounce.
Yeah. Just search Risky Chrisky on YouTube, and then on Instagram, my handle is who is Risky Chrisky, and use underscores instead of spaces. I appreciate you, man. I will definitely
Yep.
be back a third time if you'll let me.
Hell yeah, man. Would love to have you. Appreciate you coming on, brother.
Yes, sir.
Take it easy.
All out.
Peace. Oh man, yeah, he's a great guy, man. Risky has always been solid dude. We connected early on when he first kind of came on the scene, and his channel's growing crazy fast and he just puts out damn good content. This guy is a solid person to follow. And of course, as soon as we mention Spectar Solutions comes in. Did someone say night fishing? Oh, that's great. Somo gear. Man, I hear so many people talking about Somo gear. I actually had a very, very well-respected person in the night vision world be like, "Dark, if you're gonna get into nods on a budget," and I've got everything now except I'm gonna get a white phosphor, L3 Harris built tube. I'm probably gonna go with the, aviation grade just to get as clear of a tube as I can. Did you guys know, get this, okay, so if you're getting into night vision, here's the deal. Did you know that every single tube that is sold to civilians, every single one of them is a tube that was literally, casted out by the government. So they it didn't approve the selection or wasn't selected or whatever. The government said, "This just does not fit our standards, so this shit can go get sold to the civilians." Like, that is terrible, right? So if there's, like, a few spots or and look, I if you've ever looked through a tube, you're gonna have spots on there. You're gonna have like some points. And yeah, if you're looking at like a white wall in the dark, you'll probably start to see them. But when you're walking around and you're seeing like the woods, trees, and shit like that, you're not going to notice the few spots. Um, but just knowing that it was like decommissioned, not decommissioned, but it was like shit that wasn't approved by the government. And then they're like, okay, so now we can go sell this to civilians. Like, what the fuck is that? Really? I don't know. I just kind of find that messed up. Bugaloo, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Risky is great, but man, I miss Dugan, bro. We all do, man. Hope Dugan is doing well. I think somebody asked earlier too. I think it was Fairchild asked if I have any news on Dugan. I do not. I know he may have popped up a couple times here and there on other platforms, but from what I understand, he's okay. He's healthy and he is doing well with him and his family. And that's all I know. So I have no information on him. Now, a few things I did want to get out tonight is, and now we're solo, so we can run amok together. Waiting on my aviation Gen 3 tube. Nice, man. Z, good for you, bro. I want to ride Z. Too many choices. Live life. All you guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Bugaloo. Bob. I'll hit that notice in just a minute. Tui Militia. Appreciate you coming and hanging out. And Spectar Solutions. Night Custom Builds. All you guys. I appreciate all y'all. Okay, so personal set is 2400 from IBIT Aviation Tubes. Dang. Good for Dugan. God bless him. Yeah, he is the man. Every time I open up my safe and I see that Ameriflage shotgun, I'm like, damn, I miss the man. I miss him. Let me grab something to show you guys real quick. Hang tight real quick. Do what? All right, my bad. I had to grab this. Woo. Of course, I set this aside to show you guys, and I set it aside on the other side of my gun room. And for people that don't know, this is actually my gun room. It is 100% completely dedicated to guns and running DLD hardware. For people out there that don't know, I run a website called DLD Hardware, where when the ATF came in and said, hey, you guys can't sell frames with jigs, or actually unfinished frames and receivers with jigs, and y'all can't do that. That makes them guns. I was like, no, it doesn't. So when they said that we had to separate frames and jigs, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to sell jigs. And believe it or not, nearly every single day, people are buying jigs. I actually don't know. There's maybe been 1 or 2 days in the past like 6 months that people, maybe 4 to 6 months, that people did not buy jigs. So everybody out there, if you're building a frame, if you're sitting on only a frame and some rails and you need a jig, holla at your boy. If you're doing a bridge frame, the ATF compliant uh, frame, sorry, then you'll need another jig to do a single pin drill on the front for the second locking block pin. And we developed a jig specifically for that. Locks onto the frame. It's got 2 bolts in there, and you're going to need it. Don't ghost that hole. Don't do it without a jig. It is not worth it. You will it's highly likely you'll mess up your frame. So just throwing that out there. Okay, so a couple things. So I wanted to show you guys, so you guys know that I usually rock for years, actually, about 2 years, excuse me, I rocked a JM4 tactical holster. And the reason that I carried it was because it carried very, very low. And I'm not a little dude, right? So, when your gun is getting jammed in your gut and in your waistband all day, and I'm carrying for 23 and a half hours a day, I literally sleep with it in my waistband. It's just like that's, not working, right? Now I know you got to kind of, it's different for like different outfits and different types of pants and different shirts and dress clothes and street clothes and jammies, because I literally carry in my freaking pajama pants. Golf if you don't like it. Anyway, so hold on, whose channel was going? Giggity. In my pants. Like the ghost hole. He did or YouTube? Hold on. What were we talking about? Wait a minute, you had visitor. What? What you saying? 28EDU killed? Oh, thank you, Kurt. Appreciate you. God bless you, DLD. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. You're freaking awesome. Um, you're not saying 28EDU didn't kill his channel. I was just watching that shit. Thank you, bro. I was just watching that last night. Um, douchebag's brother. What? I don't know. So I'm sorry. I have no idea what y'all are talking about. Somebody fill me in because otherwise I'm completely lost. So anyway, I talked to my guy Josh with Black Diamond Guns and Gear. If you don't know Black Diamond Guns and Gear, they are like they have a podcast called 76 Tuesday. How creative is that name, bro? 76 Tuesday. Love it. Wish I thought of it first. Um, but he partnered with another company called North Coast Tactical, and they created something together called the Tuck Holster, TUC, Tuck Holster. And this thing takes carrying for bigger dudes to a whole nother level. And even if you're not a big dude, but you know, it's adjustable and stuff. So I wanted to show you guys this. So this, and just to let y'all know, they did send this to me faux free. So, you know, I'm not getting paid by them. I don't get any money if you go buy stuff. I just want to show you guys my genuine, idea, and kind of, I haven't, gone to work with it at the range like that. I've, not gotten a chance to go to the range with it, but from what I've done, just kind of dry firing at home and stuff like that, I've actually really fallen in love with it, and this is going to be my go-to rig moving forward. The reason is because now I can achieve the same thing that I was with my JM4 tactical holster, but with this, I can actually carry a 43X with a TLR7 sub in there too, and it doesn't have any of a larger footprint. All right. So this is the North Coast Tactical Tuck holster, and this is their super dope Supreme, or they, okay, so I'll say this. They call it the Ghetto Camouflage holster. Okay. The Ghetto Camo or Ghetto Camouflage holster, or we can call it the LV and Supreme holster. This one is red Kydex with the Cordura wrap. So you can actually you can get this as crazy custom as you want, right? They got every single possible Kydex and every single possible Cordura wrap you could think of. But it is super solid. So not only is it like crazy durable, but, and I'm squeezing the dog shit out of that thing. And it's straight up solid. They got 100 different kinds of clips you can choose from. I got this one on there because honestly, it's just simple to take on and off now. But I'm gonna upgrade this to the I don't think I have one here, but the metal clips that have the two inner clips that hold the belt really, really hard, because you can also wear those with sweatpants. But anyway, so this GD it. So this is the tuck holster, and this gives me the ability to carry a 43X with 21 rounds in it with a sub, TLR7 sub on it. So it gives me a little 500 lumen light when I need something aside from my Goonbane, which this thing is bright as hell. And let me put that back in there. And this is designed specifically to carry it lower. So this is going to be sitting way lower in your waistband. When you look at most holsters, usually you're looking at the gun protruding anywhere from 2.5 to 3, sometimes 3.25 inches up at the highest point. And that depends. I mean, that's for appendix holsters, right? So when this thing is in your waistband, it may be uncomfortable for some. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't work like all the time, right? Uh, some people it's going to work. For me, I got a little something extra in my belly. All right, so I need the room. So this actually makes it sit much lower, and the gun only protrudes about 2 inches, maybe 2.25 inches at the highest point. So you're basically gaining an inch, and you're not compromising the draw when it's in your waistband. And they just opened up their books again because they got so many freaking orders. Like, it blew up. People were getting all sorts of crazy custom holsters. This one, like I said, is the red Kydex with the Cordura wrap on it. There was actually a guy that cracked his holster, literally cracked it, and didn't even know it for the longest time because the Cordura wrap kind of held it together. which is funny. They also, this is the red carbon fiber magazine carrier. So I'll use these in conjunction with each other. And also, they have cool little Kydex like wallets too. And it's actually really hard to get the. At first, I was thinking like maybe the cards will like come out of there or fall out of there. But in the beginning, while you kind of wear it in, it's actually kind of hard to get them out. But you can do it once you get used to it and do it a few times. It'll become a little bit easier. But this is going to be the new rig, and I'm excited to use it. It is super comfortable. So as a big dude, you can put this in your waistband, hold in 21 rounds in your 43X or whatever gun you choose to carry with a light and sit down straight up like 90 degrees and no problem at all. You can still reach your gun. It holds it low, doesn't compromise your draw. You hear that? I had no idea that my my G-Shock has an alarm on. I didn't know that. I literally just put this on today. This is super dope G-Shock. Um anyway, let me see. Appendix carry and gaining an inch is hilarious. Yes, it is. Gain an inch in your appendix. No, so I highly recommend go to North Coast Tactical, check them out. You know, I got a QR code too. Let me post that. It'll be much easier for you guys. Hang on. There we go. Okay, so this is their QR code. Let me move my finger. There you go. So this is the QR code. So you can go ahead and screenshot that and go check out their website. I'm telling you, you can literally go through and I mean, they got to have damn near 100 different type of kydexes and then 100 different types of Cordura wraps. And then the work that they do with like the little rubber gaskets that they put the things on, they just do like perfect contrast. And the dude's like a holster artist. It's pretty insane. But for the dudes out there that are like, well, I'm not a really big dude, but I want to be able to, carry a little bit lower, this works for you too. But also, you can adjust it all the way down. I mean, there's adjustment holes literally going all the way up the holster for different kind of clips and shit like that. So go check them out, show them some love. North Coast Tactical is really a great holster maker, and the quality of this thing is nuts. And if you sub to 76 Tuesday, hell yeah. I'm so surprised. I know Ghetto Camo is hilarious. I'm so surprised that their channel is not like 1,000 times the size that it is now. But yeah, 7/6 Tuesday is an awesome show, and the dudes are so entertaining. Like they're hilarious to watch. And Josh is actually going through a lawsuit where some Karen ass neighbor is like getting pissed at got pissed at him shooting on his own property that he lawfully owns, and he hasn't even been able to shoot at his house for the last like year and a half, 2 years, maybe even more. I can't even recall. He's been on the show and he's talked about it. Like this is like next level tyranny where he's not even allowed to use his own property for his own like what? Anyway, he's dealing with that. So it'd be dope to be able to support him and the company like that. So they're awesome. Also, Gideon Optics, and also, bro, Tack Knives is on fire with the stuff they're putting out. And still, if you use code DARK at Tack Knives, you'll be able to save. Oh, here's the stubby. A lot of y'all liked the stubby. If you use code DARK at Tack Knives, then you get 20% off. And also, if you use code GLOWIES at Gideon Optics, you'll also get 10% off and I think free shipping as well. And all of that supports the channel. And soon enough, there's going to be the Gay TF merch shop that you guys have asked for. Because as soon as I made that pillow and the hoodie, oh, and the backpack. Damn, I forgot the backpack. I should probably use the backpack as as something to like raffle off or something like that. Man, I'll step away and grab it in just a second. But if you guys are ever curious about like how can we support the channel, because it's yeah, it's hard out here for a pimp. Appreciate it, y'all. Thank you. Thank you. North Coast makes really good other holsters too. I have an OWB from them and it works great. Nice. Yeah, so they're well known. So the Tuck holster is just one of the holsters that they make. They actually make really great Kydex holsters all around. DLD people suck about the laws to practice on the property. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. I would just always uh, shoot suppressed with subsonics and then probably never have an issue. Breaking news! Breaking news! So Bob was shopping around on eBay and he came across an account on eBay that said Marine Gun Builder store or Marine Gun Builder or something like that. And knowing Bob, where Marine Gun Builder is like part of the fam, right? He's part of the Freedom Crew University fam, and he's part of the, the Dilder Builders. And he was like, "Yo, hold up, what? Somebody is on eBay pretending to be Marine Gun Builder?" But actually, it was really Marine Gun Builder. So Marine Gun Builder opened up an eBay store, and he's selling exclusively OEM parts kits for Glocks for all the guys out there that want to build. Um, the family needs to know for sure, for sure. So I reached out to him and I confirmed that it was indeed him. And Marine Gun Builder is selling Glock parts and all sorts of stuff. He's actually doing it, so it's kind of a cool thing. So if somebody purchases one of his Glock like lower parts kits, for an example, what he's doing is he's like, "All right, tell me exactly what you need." And if somebody needs like a Gen 4 trigger housing with Gen 3 parts, but a Gen 4 um, you know, magazine release or something like that, then he can actually tailor the lower parts kit that he's sending to the person that purchases it. So that would be like for a Lone Wolf Freedom 80 frame, for an example, because that uses all Gen 3 Glock parts, but a Gen 4 magazine release and a Gen 4 trigger housing. Same for like the Nomad Defense frame and things like that. One of the ways that they get these like super thin, narrow grips in the back when you're building with any kind of Glock lower, like the polymer 80s have a much larger, wider frame, right? And the grip angle is different. That's because they use a Gen 3 um, trigger housing, which is much wider. A Gen 4 trigger housing. So a Gen 3 trigger housing is kind of like this, and then it fans out to kind of a V like shape. A Gen 4 trigger housing is like this, and it literally comes down to a point. So a lot of companies, it's kind of a pain in the ass, but a lot of companies, to be able to alter their grip and kind of give them a more narrow, shorter, thinner grip, they'll use a Gen 4 trigger housing, right? But they won't, like, it's not easy to then go procure a parts kit for that because, well, if I go buy a Gen 3 parts kit, great. Let's say you find a dirt cheap bullshit Taiwanese one for $40. Don't do that, by the way. But let's say you do. Well, that's not going to fit. You're going to be able to get all your shit in your gun, and then your magazine release is not going to work, and then your trigger housing is not going to fit in there. So people would have to get the Gen 3 parts kit and then go get a Gen 4 magazine release and then go get a Gen 4 trigger housing. But of course, places like Lone Wolf, for an example, they do sell completion kits with the correct parts in there too. So I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying Marine Gun Builder has made it easy. So in all of this, he sent Bob a message and said, "Brother Bob, I appreciate it. Get the word out. Tell everybody on DLD's next stream. And if you use the code dark glowy, this is a longer one, right? If you use the code dark glowy, that will give you 10% off at MGB's eBay store. So, bam, there you go. And yes, they are all real OEM parts. And not only are they all real OEM parts, I don't get anything for this, y'all. So just so you know, like I get nothing for this. It's just supporting a homie, right? And MGB has always been there for the channel, for me. He is a genuine friend of mine. I consider him a genuine friend. He's a good guy, just all around. So yeah, so we need to support the homies. So not only are they all true, real OEM parts, but in all of his pictures, he has side by sides on how to pick out fake aftermarket parts because so many people on eBay, especially eBay, but all over the place, they're selling OEM parts kits. But when you get them, if you don't look at them, they're even stamped with Glock cage numbers. Like, that's crazy. I never would have thought that we'd be in this place where we're getting cheap Taiwanese BS parts kits that are literally stamped with Glock cage numbers. Like, that's crazy. And they're not safe. They're not safe for, y'all know what I'm saying. But it's dope that he's putting pictures in there and showing you this is how you identify which parts are not genuine OEM kits because there are people out there, there are companies out there that are literally selling BS off-brand aftermarket lower parts kits, slide parts kits, usually Taiwanese parts kits, and they are oh, thank you, Fluffy Bunny Arsenal. And they are being marketed as OEM parts kits. The other thing that drives me crazy is like if something is a knockoff, just let it be a knockoff, right? Like this is a knockoff to a Microtech Halo. This is not a real Halo. But guess what? I didn't spend $750 on this because the guy wasn't like, "Oh yeah, that's it's a real Halo," right? Like it's not a real Halo. So, if you're selling knockoff parts, don't sell them as real parts. Like for anything else on well, I'm not even gonna get into that, because I don't want people to go reporting mofos. Because it would not be good for the community if everyone goes on eBay and they start reporting people and they're saying, "Oh, they said these aftermarket parts are OEM. They're lying." We need people to confirm that they're selling OEM shit on eBay because likely what would happen is eBay would step in and say, "Oh, well, we don't want to get involved with this. We don't want to have to hire professionals to review Glock parts that are posted for sale to see what's good or bad, then we would have liability. And then for gun related stuff, we're not doing it. So boom, you can no longer buy gun parts on eBay, which obviously would be bad for everyone. So yeah, so don't go like complaining or anything like that because promise you that's where it will go. Trust me. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was a time not too long ago. Why is my camera shaking like that? Sorry. There was a time not too long ago that um, you could buy AR parts on eBay. You could just jump on there, buy AR parts on eBay, and no problem, boom, they're shipped and delivered like anything else. And then slowly they started drying up, right? And I remember one day, years back, and I searched for AR handguards and I noticed that I couldn't find them under AR-15 handguards, M4 handguards, carbine length, or whatever. And I started finding them, and I'm like, man, they're putting them under like really strange names, right? And the reason they were doing that is because they were trying to hide the fact that they were selling it on eBay. And then, boom, all AR parts gone on eBay, no more. Even though you can literally go on eBay right now, hand to God, you can buy every single part that you need to build a Glock on eBay right now, except for a frame. So you can go buy your frame, wherever you want. You want to go buy an OEM frame, you're going to go buy a Polymer 80, Freedom Wolf, GST9, or whatever you want to do, right? Then you could go buy literally a complete kit from eBay if you chose to. So I'd like to keep it that way. I would like to be able to keep, our world in a place where we have at least enough freedom to where we can build, firearms in the privacy of our own home with zero governmental overreach. That's how this is supposed to be. Yeah, I'll still time to time for the right shit, I'll still go to the gun store. I'll still go fill out a 4473. I buy factory firearms all the time, but I still would like to I still would like everyone to be able to keep that capability of buying and building, specifically building modern firearms in the privacy of their own home with zero governmental overreach because them. But yeah, anyway, so I wanted to make sure that I showed this off because this thing is fire and they just opened their books back up. Another cool thing that they did, so North Coast Tactical, I put the little thingamajig right there. So if you screenshot that, you can always go to their website. But the other dope thing that they did is because of all the custom stuff that they do, people were kind of starting to go real crazy, and then they ordered like a crazy kind of kydex and a crazy Cordura wrap, and it's for like you know, let's just say like whatever crazy gun, a Luger with a goon beam duct tape to it or something like that. Obviously, I'm just making that bullshit up, but let's say that somebody ordered something for a very obscure gun, something that's not like common. So many people were buying holsters that were all custom with different kinds of kydex, different kinds of Cordura wrap for guns that weren't the typical Glock 19, Glock 17 with a TLR 2 or TLR 7 sub or 7 alpha or whatever. So their lead time when they were getting thousands, literally thousands of orders, were going like crazy. Oh, thanks, Kurt. Appreciate you doing that, man. And again, guys, I'm not getting anything for this at all. I'm just I'm just trying to help the homies out. Um, so they got thousands of orders and they got backed up. Some people were waiting, a couple months for their holsters. Well, what happened was when they shut their site down for 2 weeks, they were like, "We're gonna hold this. We're gonna stop orders for 2 weeks, but we wanna be able to service everybody." So what they did is they took a list of the most popular guns, right? Glock 43X, Glock 48, Glock 19, Glock 17, and then, of course, different lights, TLR 2, TLR TLR1HL, TLR7, whatever, right? The most common lights, and then SIG 365, SIG 320, SIG 365 macro, and then the same with different lights. Then the Hellcat, then whatever, all the common, firearms, and then all the common lights. And they said if anyone orders from this list of these guns with any of these lights in black kydex, then we'll do a fast ship option. And they're given like a week or 2 turnaround time, which is, like, crazy fast for a custom Kydex holster. They're not they're not pressing all these things out and putting them on the shelf to sell. They're literally, like, getting an order and saying, "Okay, I got that." Boom, then they custom make each individual one. So when I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna do this for a Glock 43X with a TLR 7 sub, with a red dot. Actually, all of their holsters are cut for red dots. So whether you have one or not, it's red dot compatible. So that's actually dope. Um, and I will be running a red dot on my 43X here shortly because I got a fire one coming in. But they literally went and they made it and they pressed this shit out and wrapped it and did the heat gun and dremeled it and cleaned this whole thing up just for your boy. And then they were like, yeah, oh, he wants a mag carrier too. So we're gonna do this and this orientation. But you know what's cool? Let me do this. So almost every custom mag carrier that I got, it's like you can rock tip down to the left, right? So the way I carry a mag is like this. So when I turn it around, it's like this, right? It goes in the gun the way it's supposed to. With this, though, they actually made it so you can carry it this way, or you can turn it around and carry it that way. Or if I had standard, I don't have one here, a standard Glock 48 or Glock 43X mag, those also fit in here. So this fits the shield arms magazines, both orientations. If I wanted to flip it around or carry it on my back, smaller back, left, right, whatever side, um, it fits at both orientations. And also it fits the Glock 43X factory OEM mags, both orientations. So they put a lot more thought into these things than most people. And then, of course, obviously, there's the QR code there. And if you want a little Kydex wallet there, then you can pop your North Coast Tactical card in there too. It's just cool. It's cool as shit, and it's really, really high quality stuff. So support the homies. Even if you're not going to go buy a holster from them, what I would ask you guys to do just to show some love is go over to either Black Diamond Guns and Gear or North Coast Tactical and just be like, I saw your holster on DLD After Dark and just wanted to show some love because, bro, they did a bang up freaking job on this holster. Like this shit is gorgeous, dude. And they picked all this specifically just for me. Like that's cool as hell. And it's ghetto camouflage. That's their words, not mine. Okay, I just want to say that's their words, not mine. You know what? I don't know. Hey, William Bologna, great to see you. I don't know if they make tourniquet holders. I would guess they probably do because I mean they make like everything. But that's a good point. I'd go check them out. But go on Instagram, go to North Coast Tactical, and you can even tag Black Diamond Guns and Gear too, and just be like, "Hey, I saw your holster on DLD After Dark, and just wanted to say that shit's fire. Like, thanks for what you do. Whatever. Just kind of show some love. Send a message, like their pictures. It's important that we support each other, and just in our community, there's so much negativity and just these Glock guys don't like these SIG guys, and these builders don't like 3D printers, and these 3D printers don't like the FUDs, and we got to bring each other together and show some love. Let me see. My buddy's happy as can be. Will be happier when screwed to it. Um, okay, good, good. Let me see. What's the opinion on the 507K Holosun, the green dot? Well, let me just say this. That is one of the best RMSC cut optics out there. I previous to making the change was running a SIG Romeo 1 on my Glock 48, and I mounted it directly to the no plate, mounted it directly to the slide. And then because I wanted, for a couple of reasons, because I wanted additional protection, because that is literally the world's worst optic ever. The dot technically works, but it is a polymer optic with a polymer lens. And although they're using Holosun emitters, they're pretty shitty optics, right? I got it for like 80 something dollars on eBay, maybe like close to 100 after shipping and tax and all that. But it came with this steel, like metal, sheet metal cage, but the cage wasn't cut to fit an actual RMSC cut on the slide. It was cut to, you know, just fit the two screw holes, right? So you know me, I was like, oh hell no. If that doesn't fit my gun, then I'm not going to get something else. I'm going to make that fit my gun. So I literally drilled holes through freaking whatever it was, 16 gauge hardened steel in the correct orientation so I could place that on the posts on the Glock 48 MOS slide. So I've been running that for a while, um, but it was kind of shitty. When I put a 507K up to it, I was like, "Oh my god, the clarity, the size, like that's one of my favorite optics for that size." The second favorite optic for the I haven't used the Judge from Gideon, although I hear that is awesome. I don't have any personal experience with it yet. I'm sure it's great because Gideon's Alpha has been awesome. I need to get some rounds through it, but whatevs. And then also their acro footprint mediator is tits too. This thing is dope. But the second optic, I would say, because I don't have any experience with the Judge, excuse me, Jesus, is the primary arms. They make a RMSC footprint. So they're the first primary arms optic that came out was the no, RLS, no, RLS 10 SLX, whatever. I think, yeah, SLX RLS 10. Jeez, I'm sorry, y'all. And it's a doctor cut footprint, so it's not your typical RMR, but if you guys have something like the Strike Industries light slide, so check this ish out, then these are cut for every single optic. Now, this one is the 19 size. Strike Industries did send me their Glock 43 slide, and that thing has been awesome. This is their FDE 19 slide. Bro, this thing is fire. I cannot wait to build it. This thing is going to be gorgeous. I have some plans for this one. And this is actually a coating. This is not like this is a chemical reaction that what is it? Nitride, some type of nitride process that gives you this flat dark earth. So this is not like a traditional coating. This is a chemical finish. I think it's like some type of nitride bath. But man, like the cuts that they had, like look at those optic cuts. Every single optic you could ever think of will fit in these slides. So if somebody wants to run an RMSC cut optic on their 19, they can. Bob obviously said he got an RMR to RMSC cut optic. You can do that as well. Also, Strike Industries came out with an RMR to Aimpoint Acro plate, and they're like $50. So let's say you got an RMR cut slide on whatever build. If you wanted to throw an Aimpoint Acro, fully enclosed red dot on there, you just need that $50 mount. So that thing is fire. But you can also run like that primary arms will literally mount directly to the Strike Industries slide. So that's why I ran with that on my Strike Industries build. The whatchamacallit, DLD After Dark needs to get back to the 40 Smith & Wesson that saved his life. Yeah, no, I'm 9mm and 5.56 will likely be the only calibers that will save my life in the future. Maybe a 380 because I keep one tucked away. Like if I got to hide one in my B crack, I will. All right. I got one of those FTE 19 light slides too. Hell yeah, bro. I don't know if you guys saw this, but these slides are $259 stripped. Okay. Optics Planet was selling them for $164. Like that's crazy. I almost don't want to tell anyone so I can go back and get more because these things are fire. And somebody told me that just like the arc slides were discontinued, the arc slides were very, very similar to this, but these notches were actually cut out. It's ported, it's got a window, and they were 250 or so as well. But now they're selling for like $600 to $800 because they just simply don't exist. Someone told me that has some type of intimate connection with Strike Industries that they're only like 1,300 or 3,300. I don't remember the number, but something like 1,300 light slides left. And they're like the only light slides that will ever exist for the rest of forever. And they were like, buy them up because one day these stripped slides alone will be selling for $500 to $800. Now, when I spoke to somebody at Strike Industries, they were like, no, we would never do that. That could never be true. And I was like, but you came out with the arc slide and discontinued it. You came out with the arc barrel. It blew up and discontinued it. You came out with the Strike 80 frame. It blew up and you discontinued it. You came out just constantly. They're coming out with stuff. It blows up and then they discontinue it. I'm like, why would they not do it for the light slide? So anyway, if you want to build a dope AF Glock, the light slides are awesome. They're gorgeous and they function. I mean, these things are like right up there with OEM as far as functionality, and they're just gorgeous slides and they fit every single optic on the market. So yeah, they're great options. And if they do end up being worth a little bit more money in the future, dope, but hey, pretty soon, if you sell anything for any more money, you're going to have to get an FFL, according to our tyrants in charge, the TICs. Do you have the original rear sight slot? I found the dovetail mount is better. What do you? I don't think I understand. I got one of those. I think that size too. So okay? So yeah. So the 507K, I do love the 507K. I also love the 407K. I think they're very slim rugged optics that are very that's right. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked here. So the 507K and the 407K are excellent optics. They are very slim, very small, but still a very large, large enough window to see through very well. And they're rugged designs. They got crazy long battery life. Like there's nothing wrong with them at all. The only thing I would say is that for the money, so Primary Arms also came out with after they came out with the SLX RS10, which is the doctor cut one that fits on the Strike light slides. They came out with an RMSC cut one that can usually be had for like $130, and it is a solid 6061 aluminum housing, and that may be it appears to me that it may be a little bit more durable, but I don't know, right? Like I've never seen anyone beat the piss out of a 507K to the point that it didn't work. So it may just, be just fine. But for me, I may be cheap and cut costs there and get the RMSC cut primary arms. But if I could get a 507K for a reduced price, I would jump on that quickly. Like when yeah, the 507 was 275 plus. Yeah, they're not cheap, but if you're a red dot guy, like typically if I'm carrying a gun 90-ish percent of the time, I'm just running iron sights. I do have, I don't know, maybe 10 guns with dots on them. Maybe 10, 8 to 10, something like that. And they're mostly Holosun 507 507s, Holosun 407s, and then I have a couple primary arms, the SLX RS10s, and then I got one RMR. It's like an old RMR. Um, what else? And then I think aside from that, I just have the Gideon optics. But those have all been great. Like none of them have failed at all. Actually, not true. Swamp Fox is another one that I had, and I was all about Swamp Fox for the longest time. I did have a Swamp Fox fail, but in their defense, they came in, they jumped in, and they swooped in and saved me immediately, and they fixed it. So yes, I do have a Swamp Fox as well. It's the Justice, which is the huge. I mean, is the big ass window, 24 millimeter window in a pistol optic. That thing is crazy. But for the most part, when I'm talking EDC, I'm running just straight sights. I'm not running a red dot. If you are 100% committed to carrying a, micro compact with a red dot, then I would say go spring the money for the 507K or spring the money for an actual RMR CC or RMRSC, whatever it is. I forgot all the different designations, but if you're going to be betting your life on something, and if you're not like a psychopath like me that has 30 Glocks, right? Like I'm not going to outfit all my guns with RMRs, right? I may put an RMR on the one that I'm most likely to carry in my waistband because I'm going to get more abuse on that RMR from my own body, sweat, all the, nastiness being pressed against my belt and the holster and all that stuff. Because I use leather a lot. Obviously I'm switching over to this, which won't shield the optic. Some of the other holsters I have do shield the optic. Not to shit on this, I'm just saying we'll have to see how it goes. But this also, it'll be holding the optic over the belt line, so that should be fine. But you just have to make your own call, right? Like, oh, me, I have 30 Glocks. Yeah, right. So if you got 30 Glocks, you're not going to drop, $500 on every single red dot, right? You're gonna cut costs somewhere. And yeah, I would rather get two Holosun 507s than one RMR. I'm just being real. Plus nowadays you can Glock 22 training. You gotta put a conversion barrel in that thing, man. There's no reason for you to have a 40 caliber. All right, it's 2023. Come on. Yes, and Blue Dot Gang, please remember, everyone out there, that every single time you see Gideon Optics or Bob or anyone representing Gideon Optics, let them know that you want a blue dot, okay? because they will literally, yeah, I'll turn this bad boy on for you. They will literally go build a blue dot, a blue emitter for your dude. If I could rock a blue red dot, a blue dot, a blue red dot, you know what I mean? If I could rock a dot on my carry gun that was blue, bro, I would do that all day. Man, this mediator is fire. And there may be something coming up in the near future that you guys see, which is cut for an acro optic that is DLD adjacent, that has a Gideon mediator on that thing. There's going to be a few other things coming out. Like what I'm trying to do is basically I'm trying to find every single way that I can to support the channel and still stay true to us and what we do. Right? Like, if anything, every single thing that we do has to come back to. I'm saying we collectively as a community, right? I don't. It's not about like me, but every single thing that we do has to come back to, preparedness and self-preservation, preservation of innocent life. So whether it's, we know the main things, right? Obviously water, food, shelter, security. When you break down each one, right? Let's break down security for an example. Firearms, holsters, magazines, knives, but anything self-defense related, right? So I'm trying to do some more things to, that will support the channel, but also not feed you guys bullshit, right? For an example, you'll never hear me, Kurt. You and I were, having a conversation. Um, the mediator, yeah. Um, the blue baller, click, click. I'm building a new rifle and I'm in the market for optics. Nice. Honestly, hit up Gideon. Give him a shot. The Mediator is a great optic. They could literally be used for, a pistol, right? You could throw this on a Glock 34 and have a duty gun with a fully enclosed optic on that thing. But also, Gideon actually puts, mounts on their shit from the factory. You don't have to go buy a separate mount, and that's a huge, huge help. Also, if you took this out and mounted it directly on a slide, or got one of the plates, the RMR to acro plates, this you now have this where you can go grab, like, let's say you have another acro mount or something like that, and go put that on your rifle or a sub gun or something like that. Really, this is AR height, so it would need to be something, AR height, like an AR pistol caliber carbine or an AR, whatever, standard AR. Y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. Let's see. Prenups also count as protection. 100%. Post nups too. Yeah, acro footprint. Yeah. It's dope, man. Honestly, I'm impressed and I really like. I wish I could grab the alpha and show you. That's got a really, really like a crystal clear green EOTech style optic, almost like the 507Cs. They have the 32 MOA circle with a 2 MOA dot. The Gideon Alpha and the Gideon Mediator are exactly like that. And this is like 225 with a mount and a red dot and all that. And it comes with a whole bunch of shit in here. Every single possible screw you would ever need, regardless of what you're mounting it on. And also, if you go in the description of this video, there's a link. And if you use the link and my code, you'll save an additional like 10%. It'll be under 200 bucks for a freaking baller ass acro cut rifle optic that you can also use on a pistol too. So if you want to support the channel, you can do that too, or just reach out to them and tell them that you're trying to get your hands on one. Honestly, they'd probably holler at you. Nice. What's the difference between Streamlight TLR7, TLR7A, and TLR7 sub? Great question. I wish more people asked more questions like this. And this is actually one of the things I meant to hit on with when Risky Chrisky was on earlier, because I feel like most of our community is kind of forgetting about the new folks, right? And I'm not saying this is a new question, but hear me out. People that aren't familiar with all the terminology and all the lingo and all that stuff, um, they don't know this stuff, right? So they don't know what we're talking about with these different lights and different optics and things like that. And if you just say, oh, 507K, they have no idea what that means, right? So I think we have to be, more patient and more understanding for newer folks. So I wish people asked more questions like this so we can actually dig into some of the meat and taters. So here's the deal. So a TLR1 is the full size duty size. I wish I had one here. I have every flashlight you're asking about. Um, so there is the TLR1, which is an old 300 lumen shitter, but it is a full size two cell. It's got two batteries in it, and it's a full size duty size light, and that's an old shitter. It's 300 lumens. They came out with a TLR1 HL, which stands for high lumens, and that is a 1000 lumen, 10,000 candela light. That is also full size two cells, and it takes two CR123 batteries, same as the original 300 lumen version. Then they came out with the TLR7. Now, just a standard TLR7 is a damn, I should it'll take me too long. Those are all mounted on guns. Never mind. I'll just walk you through it. So the TLR7 was a pretty big advancement because it was a single cell design. So it was made with one CR123 battery, but it's only as thick as the firearm itself, right? So if you pop it on a Glock 19, it doesn't protrude from the size of the gun. So it makes for a much thinner package, but it's only 500 lumens. So there's a little bit of a draw with that. Obviously, with only having one cell in there, you're pulling a lot more power. So you're going to have half of the lumens. And I think it's maybe 5,000 candela, something like that. I'll have to check. But the TLR7 is a 500 lumen, I think 5,000 candela package that is no thicker than the size of like a Glock 19. However, the first TLR7 that came out was just a standard 7, had the fire buttons on the side where you actually had to reach your finger all the way past the trigger guard to hit this little button that's about the size of a grain of rice, roughly. So they redid the TLR7 and dubbed it the TLR7 Alpha, and they extended the buttons. So they just changed the rear portion of it. They extended the buttons as gas pedals to go past the outside of the trigger guard, so you could actually, you know, manipulate the light on and off and strobe and all that much easier without having to push your trigger finger way too far. I mean, on a TLR7, on a standard TLR7, it's almost unreasonable how much you have to reach your finger out to manipulate the light. On the TLR7 Alpha, it's basically two gas pedals that come back right past the trigger guard, so it's much easier to manipulate. Also 500 lumens as well. Then they came out with the TLR7 Sub, which is an even smaller design. Actually, that one I may have right here. Hang on. And I make sure you can't see my pow pals. Whoop. Okay, so I got them right here. Hopefully, you guys find some value in this. I'm gonna have to take this bad boy off. Let me get a 9mm round. Come on, give me something to turn this bad boy. I'll just use this washer because these are actually literally screwed on. I'm screwed up. Hang on. For anyone out there that doesn't know, you are not allowed to handle firearms on a live stream. So that is why I am doing everything below the camera view here. Okay. And if you guys are curious about all the dope battle worn finishes that I got on my blickies, then yeah, this thing was dope. If you've never painted a light, woo, that thing is it's next level ish. Okay, so this is the standard TLR7. Okay, so this is not the alpha or the sub. This is the TLR7. So traditionally, when you're reaching your finger past it, your trigger guard is stopping here, right? So you're having to reach your trigger finger all the way down past the outside of your trigger guard just to turn a 500 lumen light on, right? But the dope thing is that it is very thin compared to the TLR1 or TLR1HL. So you have a much thinner package. So for EDC, a 500 lumen light is great if that's all, if you have to carry a thinner package. If you can fit a full-size Glock 19 with a TLR1HL down your pants or a goon beam, I got a bunch of goon beams that are 1,000 lumen pistol lights. Bro, my goon beam, my 1,000 lumen goon beam that is very similar to the size of the TLR1HL, that thing literally is my bedside gun. That is my go-to home defense gun. So shout out to goon beam. Goon beam is like Surefire and Streamlight's worst effing nightmare. He's like, "Yeah, I think I could give the community more. I think I can give them more power, more light, more lumens, more candela." So, shout out to you, my guy. Okay, so this again, this is the standard TLR7. Okay. Now I don't have an alpha right here, but the TLR 7 alpha extends past it with two gas pedals, similar to this. I also have to remove this from a firearm as well. So burr with me. Is the bottom of the that joint with that battle worn. I'm a battle worn type of motherfucker. All right, hold on, yo. So one of the cool things with this is the TLR 7 sub. The TLR 7 sub was actually designed specifically for very small subcompact guns. I actually have a 3D printed key inside the TLR 7 sub, so it'll fit. Um, well, that doesn't. It's not important. But what they did is, let me show you this here. So this is what the TLR 7 looks like, and this is what the TLR 7 sub looks like. So it's a smaller package, but the two gas pedals go back, and it fits. The trigger guard fits in there, so it pushes the you know controls further towards your trigger finger. So it's much easier to just push your trigger finger in there and tap it to turn it on and off, right? But this is a much smaller design. It's way littler. And it's also 500 lumens, so it's a little bit smaller. Both of these happen to be painted, so whatevs. But yeah, so this is just the different design. So what they did is, the way there's these two gas pedals on there, the TLR 7 Alpha is this with two gas pedals on it, so it's just easier to manipulate. So hopefully that helps and makes sense. Let me see. Are top or bottom buttons better on the TLR 7? Meaning like the standard one, which one is which? The standard one on the side or the gas pedal ones? Oh, you mean, oh, because they do come with two different buttons. So the only ones that I've ever used are the lower buttons like this. The higher buttons may be better. I think it depends on, whatever you practice with or whatever you're used to. But personally, I use the lower ones on every single one that I have. I actually don't have an alpha at all. I don't have a TLR 7A. They're great, but Dark, you built a company distributing jigs to fuel the build community in a time of need, not to mention countless guest appearances, etc. You offer a lot to the community. You're doing big things. Bro, I appreciate you, man. Thank you, Night Custom Builds. I know you do a lot too. We have a lot of incredible people here that do so much for the community, and I appreciate you and I appreciate all y'all. Seeing your gun room and your progress makes me realize crazy what all you're doing. Dude, I mean, it's for y'all, I obviously it'd be super dope if I could like just do this full time and just do, videos and gun content and shooting and all that as like a full-time thing. But it's shit, I don't know. I may be doing it soon because I lost my job recently and it's like fuck. I really want a gun room. It's a game changer, man. It's a game changer. Uh, Dark's gun room is fire smog life goals. Thanks, man. Sorry, I didn't see that earlier. Yeah, that's true. And all the RM as well, RML, RMU. I forgot what it is, but the rail mounted unit as well. Those are great as well. Dark and his never ending bag of infos. I know, dude. I'm filled with like crazy, ridiculous small bits of information, but it's so it's basic. You're welcome, M. Gabriel. And any question anyone has, like, let me know. I'm always happy to oblige. Dark, the signal does not end if you continue. Facts. I will never stop doing this, even if I have a couple other opportunities now, and I'm literally weighing the option of, first off, I'll never accept an opportunity that would get in the way of me doing this ever. Right. So I would put this above my opportunity to earn income for my livelihood. And I know that's crazy, but dude, the messages that I get all the time of people being like, "Yo, I watched you for a few months and then I built my own gun. I built my first gun by myself." Like, people being like, "Dude, I got into this and, I bought a Glock during the, pandemic or whatever, and then I, started building guns or whatever." Like that shit is incredible. Like we're living at a time right now where the biggest the biggest governmental acronyms out there that exist, the DOJ is working hand in hand with Alphabet, Google, YouTube, and all these guys to limit your access to information for firearms, for gun building. You can't find gun building information on YouTube anymore. Does not exist. That's why we created Freedom Crew University, so we can literally build guns, and on video and show people how to build firearms. Like it is our responsibility to continue pushing this out there because otherwise the information is gone. They have cinched the hose and they have clinched it and they're not letting the shit go. They will not allow the information to freely flow anymore. So we either have to put it somewhere else or we have to continue doing it in other ways. It is our responsibility. And it's y'all's responsibility too, right? Like I see all y'all out in chat and in other streams and watching other stuff. And it's like, man, now we have like instead of just, oh, it's just Dark, it's just a dude. Now it's Dark that is a dude with a channel with like almost 4,300 subscribers and people, whatever, maybe only 10% actually watch the shit that I put out, right? But those people are now empowered to go do the same thing and push the same messaging and push the same things because we're all very similar in the way that we think about things. Some of y'all are a little crazy, a little extreme, you know what I'm saying? But some it's important that some of us continue kind of on this like thing. Some of y'all just chill, just come in and hang out and just kind of watch and listen and don't even say anything in chat. And that's cool too. But there are people out there that are going to continue fighting, even if fighting is just being present in the community. And if their contribution is just information, word, hell yeah. And most of the information that I give to you guys is just shit from me, just like shopping around and looking at different stuff and being like, okay, I found a TLR7 that's used. Why is this TLR7 cheaper than a TLR7 Alpha? And then why is this, TLR7 sub different? Okay, well, they only made the TLR7 sub for the Glock 43X because that is a completely different rail system for a 1913 rail, which does not fit with every gun. Just ask me how I know. And they also made it for the Hellcat and the SIG P365, and that is it. That's it, right? They didn't make it for anything else, and they're expecting the 1913 option to fit with every single other gun under the sun, which is not realistic. That's why you'll see, oh man, I was about to grab this and hold it up. That's why you'll see like sometimes you'll see someone's light. Like let's say it's supposed to mount right here with a trigger guard, right? You'll see someone's light mounted forward like this, and it's like, damn, why is their shit mounted forward like that? It's because Streamlight is stupid. That's why. Right? Like it's you know. Oh hell yeah, Kurt, man. Thank you. Kurt, man. Kurt is so underappreciated here, man. Kurt, you are the man. I appreciate all the support, bro. He is coming in with the links and coming in with, pushing Risky Chrisky's Instagram and YouTube channel and all this stuff. Kurt, you're the man. You're the man, dog. Let me see. They clinched it, but not in a good way. Yeah. Oh, I hate to hear you say that. However, it's comforting. The issue as of now, our government is trying to control that signal, and knowing MGB and you are never going to stop is comforting. Appreciate it. Yeah, you're welcome, man. Bro, we got to do it. We all got to do it, right? Firearm empowerment is wild. It makes 22 LR into 9mm and 9mm into 50 AE. I had, oh, I shouldn't say that. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up. Moving along, let me go back here. Is the TLR 9 two cells, but lengthwise? I believe so. I may have to double check, but I believe it's two batteries stacked, like put in one and then put in another one. I think it's like that. But so keep in mind though, one thing. I was looking at the TLR9 for a long time, mostly because for some guns, like some handguns that have a very long rail, right? So let's say like a SIG 320, X5 Legion or something like that. The TLR9 fits beautifully there because it's crazy long and it fits the whole rail and it's like perfect, right? But it's typically more expensive than other options, and it's only a thousand lumens and 10,000 candela. So back out for a second. So let's say you find it for 250, 300, whatever the going rate is, right? I found one at my gun shop the other day for like 289. I was like, fuck that. Um, Whereas like, you could find it used probably for $190 or something like that. But whatever it is you find it for, let's pause for a second. Goombeam has pistol lights that are 1,000 to 1,150 lumens. I think Goombeam, chime in if you're still here and let me know. They may be more. They may be like 1,150, maybe even 1,200. I've heard a bunch of people say different things about it, but 1,000 to 1,200 lumens, and they're like 30 to 40,000 candela. Now, you don't want to go crazy because he also has a 100,000 candela. Look at that. Look at that freaking focus of the photons in the middle. Like that focus of the beam right there is how you're hitting it 100 yards. No problem. And you're being able to identify your target at 100 yards and beyond, right? So the photonic focus or whatever it is, right? That the focus of the beam in the middle is how you get distance. So on handgun lights, you don't want crazy photonic focus because you want to have some spill so it lights a room and it doesn't just like torch this one spot, right? So that's why you're going to see, lower lumens on some lights. But man, I will tell you straight up, when I walk into a shoot house or a shooting range or whatever it is, being able to have like 1,000 on one side, have 1,000 lumen light with 10,000 candela, and you'll catch spill and you'll light up a room. Then grab the Goom Beam and put your 11, 1,200, 1,000 lumens, whatever it is, with 30,000 candela. It is the best of both worlds for half the price. Like it's crazy the value that you're getting for it, and it fits all TLR1HL gear, TLR1 and TLR1HL gear. It's just a no-brainer. Like it is the okay, so 1200 lumens, 30,000 candela. And also remember, if anybody does choose to purchase anything from Goombeam, if you can use the link that Kurt just dropped, but all Kurt just dropped. Sorry, words are hard. But also, if you go in the description of my video and you use the Goombeam link, that actually gives affiliate credits towards the channel, and if you use code DARK, you save money and get, like, extra stuff, and I heard he'll put, like, a lock of his neighbor's hair in there, something like that. He'll do something special for you. But yeah, there's I've never been at an indoor range ever. So some are pretty dope. It just it depends, right? Like, yes, use affiliate. Thanks, brother. I appreciate you. If you are going to, right? Like some people, and I appreciate all y'all so much. Some people literally reach out to me on like Instagram or email and they're like, yo, Dark, I'm gonna buy something from PSA or Brownells or Bear Creek Arsenal or Arrow Precision or whatever. Do you have an affiliate link or is there a way that I could help the channel? Because people are already going to spend money, right? If they're going to spend $1,000 at PSA, they're going to spend it either way, right? So using my affiliate link doesn't cost more money. It just gives a kickback to the channel. So with that said, though, I can't put PSA, Brownells, anything gun related, any place that sells guns, I can't put that into YouTube, any links like that. I can't even put a link tree that has a link to a website that links a firearm uh, item. So I got to be cautious with that because they will literally remove my channel. And I would love to be here for a little while. I think that's honestly the only way that I can help. Love my Goombeam. Hell yeah. I have I think I have two Goombeam pistol lights. I have one, two, three, four Goombeam rifle lights. But the first Goombeam rifle light that I ever got, which is I think 1400, either 12 or 1400 lumens. I'm sorry, Goombeam. I can't remember everything. I can remember a lot, but not everything. 12 to 1400 lumens and shit, what was it? 50,000 candela, something like that. That thing is a torch, and I have beat the shit out of it. I have taken, I don't know, 4, 5, maybe 5 or 6 carbine courses with it, and I've beat the shit out of it every time, and it has always been solid for me. So, being able to get something like that at a huge reduction in the cost from, what Streamlight or Surefire charges. Bro, what Surefire charges is absolute insanity. Like, absolute insanity. I can't I mean, they make good stuff, okay? But I one day think that when Goombeam gets to a certain point, Surefire and Streamlight and Cloud Defense and all these guys are going to be having board meetings about what to do because of Goombeam one day. I can only pray. I can only pray. Yeah. Um, would be cool to put a silver light on a stainless piece. Yes, especially with like some aluminum. So picture this. Picture an Inox Beretta M9A1 with the stainless colored aluminum grips with a stainless colored light with one of those stainless cans on it. Ooh, damn, that thing would be fire. Like that is like cartel level right there with stainless. And dude, I'm a stainless fool. Like I got a Glock 19 slide that I sent off to Ford's custom gun refinishing in Florida, and they redid a whole slide, barrel, like everything. And they even did a clip draw. I used to carry my Glocks with clip draws back in the day, and they did a brushed chrome, and it is gorgeous. That with a gray frame, that gray and stainless look. Ooh, man, that thing is gorgeous. Something like that would be fire. I would absolutely love it. Surefire prices are criminal. 100%. 100%. Uh, would a rock tumbler remove anodizing or got to be media blasted? I believe it has to be media blasted. It's going to take a lot to actually take off that finish. Now it is Oh, nice. Thank you, Frag Out. Frag Out liked my comment on IG because I was saying how beautiful his uppers and lowers are. If you haven't checked out Frag Out, man, it's his work that he does is just remarkable. It's crazy, and I am super blessed that I was able to get one of the Frag Out AR uppers and lowers, and I'm definitely gonna put that thing to work, and I'm gonna make a gorgeous, gorgeous build with it. Now, with all that said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. I just wanted to kinda have a chat with you guys. Um, might be a new business venture. Dude, one of the things that I wanted to do when I was a kid, I wrote like basically a business performa out. And I told my parents and my brothers and sisters and my family that I wanted to open up a gun shop and call it Movie Guns. And they were like, "Well, why do you want to sell movie guns?" And I think they thought I was talking about like blank firing guns. I was like, "No, no, no. What I want to do is I want to create a gun store and literally sell guns from the movies." Okay, so for an example, Tomb Raider USPs, right? Whatever, the Terminator Remington 870. So I duplicated the Terminator 2 Remington 870 actually twice because I did it when I was a kid when I was like 18, and then I ended up having to sell it for financial reasons. I mean, I was like under 20 years old, maybe 21. And then later on in life, I rebuilt it and I got the for law enforcement only 94 to '04 band stock on it. And I rebuilt it specifically to, be just like that. Right. And then like basically finding all these guns that people remember specifically from movies and then sell them as like, oh, this is the Terminator shotgun, or this is the Halo gun, or this is the, that kind of thing. I always wanted to do something like that because I love those little freaking details, right? Like make a whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. Anyway, all right. So on that note, talking about childhood dreams that never came true, that's when I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Give me the gun of Rambo. Yes, yes, yes. Um, man, I wish I could show you guys what I have in my hands right now. I take a Blood Diamond Car 15, bro. That shit was beautiful at the top of that mountain, just raining down hate. That thing was fire. I wish I could show you guys what I got in my hand right now, but I can't because YouTube hates it. So let's go ahead and wrap up. First off, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all you guys taking the time to tune in. I love this when we can just come in and chat, and we also have an incredible guest too, Chrisky, for coming in. Thank you so much. Subscribe to his channel. He's awesome. Now, in the end, guys, all we got left is our rules. Okay. Rule number one is to be kind. It's so important that we're kind in everything that we do. That brief little interaction that you have with somebody else could have a massive impact on their life. So just be kind. Rule number two is to live a life of care, compassion, contribution. Give to others. When you give to others, when you bless others, you become blessed. A hand that's open to give is open to receive. Sorry, I got to piss so bad. Woo! Okay, rule number three, because we know the only way for us to defeat evil is with good men skilled in violence, make sure that you're becoming as highly skilled in violence as you possibly can be, and be safe, be dangerous, and don't piss your pants. I love y'all. Keep that thing on you. Peace.